What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH, and to be honest, I'd like to welcome you all back to the Game and Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned in to episode 176. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. If you're watching on Apple and Spotify, please rate the show 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, dudes keep booping me. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like and the hype button. Even though last week, I think some people in the comment section said they didn't see it. I don't know. If you do see it, I don't know how it's working. YouTube is rolling it out really slow. Hit the hype button if you do see it. When you hit that hype button, the show will appear in YouTube's new hype charts, which helps new viewers find the world's best weekly gaming podcast. Also follow the podcast on social media. We drop daily content on our pages. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as Facebook. Our handle on most platforms is at GI Updates, with the exception being Facebook. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/GI Facebook. If you prefer Discord, it is discord.gg/GI Updates. Links to all our social media platforms will be in the link in the description box below at youtube.com/GI Updates. Now, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which is a game dev who loves to nap in between his vibe coding sessions. Ethos, say what up to the people.
Whoa, hold on now. We don't vibe code over here, okay?
What does that even mean?
Check and verify.
I thought it just meant like you lo-fied and code. Like that's it.
Vibe coding is when you don't know how to code and you're just prompting what it to
cheaters.
What to do. I don't want to say it's cheating, but it's like it's okay. I don't have an issue if you do that, but it's like you got to understand what the thing is doing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, oh, yeah, just tell it to do this. Oh, yeah, that looks right. And just hit it. And then they run with a bunch of errors and they break production. And everyone's like, what the hell did you push? I just want to say, your boy went to a pre-release for Riftbound. I might be the Yugi or Seto Kaiba, take your pick, of Riftbound. I went 3-0 at my locals.
Damn.
Come at me. You know, I'll see y'all boys at the regional. So.
All 5 people who play Magic in Detroit.
It's not Matt. Bro, it's a League of Legends.
League of Legends, Magic,
Legends
it's all
card.
nerd shit. This podcast is nerd shit. You're all nerds.
Hold on. I don't want to talk. This man was talking about he was about to go to some voice acting barbecue. I want to hear this. What a nerd, okay?
I just wanted to practice a couple of my voices. You know?
I want to have some voice lines.
Practice a couple of my voices.
Some chicken. Yeah, some barbecue chicken.
Whatever, man. My second co-host has been threatening to talk our ear off this week about the biggest topic, Nioh 3. For the past week, she's been doing that. But little does she know I'm going to cut her off if she talked more than 45 minutes. Miss 5,000 watts, say what up to the people.
I got 45 minutes. This is just me talking about Nioh. Okay.
Apparently.
That sounds great.
Threatening us in the channel. We're gonna talk about it, right?
You're going to let me talk about it.
It's a weekly podcast. What else the fuck are we going to talk about? And last but certainly not least is the man who broke my copy of Nioh 3, which I'll explain more later. So I can't even progress the damn story. Some say it was on purpose. UTX Nioh Glitcher the Don. Say what up to the people.
Who said it's on purpose? Nobody said on purpose but you.
I said it was on purpose.
You enjoyed my game. I'm sorry if that mission got destroyed for you. I didn't know, okay? I will take accountability for it. You want me to? Hey, you got me. On another note, shout out to the NFL for finally getting this right, even though it was way too close. I don't like that 24 to 23 votes. But Matthew Stafford did get MVP. So Ethos, you better cheer as well for your former quarterback. He got that joint and he said he coming back. We running that joint back next year. So let's get
I know you was kind of scared when you heard the rumor that he was talking about coming back to Detroit.
Hey, yeah.
I know you were so scared.
Did you see Sean McVay? Sean McVay looked surprised.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, he was like, oh, thank God. I think
Kyrie was like, yeah.
some truth to that rumor. Yeah.
I don't think they knew. So that was a golden
This is
announcement.
not nerd shit, so I'm going to need you to
That's
come.
also nerd shit.
I don't know how y'all still get excited from football. They said that shit is fake in the Epstein file, so I don't even know why y'all watching that shit.
I mean, we already knew about the NFL script. So.
we have an inside joke about.
I didn't see the NBA in there, so it was pretty
People
interesting.
still watch WWE.
Hold on, now we know for a fact the NBA.
No, what's the name got exonerated? That got suspended. He got exonerated.
Terry Rozier.
Yeah, Terry Rozier. Yeah, he beat the case. See, but the mainstream didn't make that part go mainstream, did they?
But then you got Giannis.
Something like that. Yeah, Giannis.
Giannis is looking. He's looking a little sus.
Looking
I
a
said
little
send him
foodie,
to the Wizards. Send him to the Wizards as a punishment. We'll take him. Him with Trae Young. I don't think that'll be a good lineup, so we'll take him. Allegedly. Anyways, let's get back to this gaming shit, because this is the world's best gaming podcast. And since last week's episode, the first major game of the year has released, which would be Nioh 3, which is obviously the third entry in the series. It is a Souls-like game, but it's much more action-oriented. It's more co-op focused too. It's much more seamless to get in and out of the co-op. In this third entry, they've made the game, they're not referring to it as open world, but like open field. It's kind of like semi-open world. You get two different classes, each person that plays. So you get to play as a ninja and a samurai. Tons of different ways to, customize your character with different types of weapons. A little too much in my opinion. Obviously the game is challenging. It's here. Watts, you've been begging to talk about it, so you got the floor. What's the good, bad, and the ugly on Nioh 3?
Okay, so Nioh 3 is kind of just as a big look at it. I kind of have been describing it as what Elden Ring was to FromSoft, and in that I don't mean that they went open world and they did this, they did that. It's more so that it's the learning of everything that they have done and they've put it into Nioh 3. So you have things of Wolong in here. You have things that they've learned from Rise of Ronin. You of course have Nioh in here. So you have a bunch of different things that they've put together to create what I think is probably the most well-rounded Nioh experience so far. So as you said, it is open field. What Nioh used to be is it was just mission based. They do still retain some of that in that you get these things called battle scrolls. So you can go and into a mission and you go and kill a boss, or you go and find something and that completes the battle scroll. You get loot for that. You get rewards at the end of that. It's definitely worth doing. But they are also separated into these regions that are pretty open. But even with the level design in that open field, it definitely feels a bit more focused and kind of feels like you are playing a more, not linear because they are open, but a more linear experience than if you were playing like, I don't know, Ghosts of Yotei or something. It's not that kind of open world. The really good thing with the open world is that the open field is that you can gain bonuses like defense and attack for exploring. So the more that you unlock, the more that you can get these bonuses. You can hold more elixirs. You can find like samurai text and ninja text, which allows you to have more skills on your samurai and ninja. You can also find skills for weapons. So there's a bunch of stuff for you to find out there in the open field. So it's absolutely worth doing. Ninja and samurai, I initially, like way back before I played it, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I love it. So the difference between them is ninja has ninjutsu, of course. This allows you to use things like shurikens, caltrops, a little bit of like magic. It's not quite magic, but it's kind of like magic. And you also have a dodge. You have a mechanic where if you are hitting them and then you press R1, it allows you to do a little dodge and it leaves a mirage of yourself behind and you get to dodge for free. You don't use any stamina when you're dodging like that. So that's kind of the ninja. They're faster, they're about ninjutsu, and they're about dodging. The samurai has the classic stance system of Nioh. So you have high stance, mid stance, and low stance. And that will dictate how powerful your attacks are, but also how slow they are, and they have their own different movesets. The samurai also has a dedicated deflect button, so you can just sit there and Sekiro it up if you want to. And they tend to have like heavier armor, heavier weapons, and that's the distinction. So I know that they did design the game to where you can play one of these exclusively or both of them. They did not want to limit how you play. If you just love the ninja and you just want to use the ninja, you absolutely can do that. So it's completely up to you which weapons you like. They don't share weapons. There's some that they share, but even within the ones that they share, like the katana or the fist weapons, they have different movesets. But you're picking between 14 different weapons. That's quite a lot of weapons. I personally am playing as both of them pretty 50-50. When I'm in it also depends on the thing that I'm fighting. If it feels like it's a deflect heavy fight, then I'm going to be more on samurai. If it feels like I want to be dodging more, I'll be on ninja. But if you are someone who is using just one of them, I highly recommend trying to get down using both, because it feels really cool to like go in the air as a ninja, switch to a samurai mid-combat, and then do like a big heavy attack crashing down on them. That just feels really fun, and that has been a really good time. The difficulty I wanted to touch on a little bit because I do think it starts off easier than other Nioh games, but I've now gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, no, this feels more on par with what I would expect for Nioh, which I think is totally fine for the first open field to be easier because there's a lot to learn. Nioh is known to have a gwillion mechanics and systems for you to learn, and this allows you to do it in a area that's still gonna maybe challenge you a little bit, but it's not gonna be so challenging that you're like, I can't freaking do this.
I think you're wrong.
Really?
Not really, but somebody in the comments
Disagreement?
last week said that we need to argue more. So
Yeah, disagreement.
I think you're wrong.
The classic cut off and disagree. All right.
I will not further
I'm
elaborate.
nearly done. Okay, commenter.
I
I'm
hope
nearly
that person
done.
that was complaining that we don't argue enough. There you go. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
And I hate you.
So even though this is the third iteration in the series, I do actually recommend this for someone who's never played Nioh. And one of the reasons is the difficulty thing that I explained before. But also the way that they've done loot, they've managed to maintain the loot system of Nioh that kind of separated it ultimately from being a Souls-like. But they've added like loot filters. So if you've played Path of Exile or something, you know that you can go and you can add a loot filter. So anything below a certain rarity, you can just have it auto-select it for dismantling. And boom, you don't even have to look at it. They also have an auto-equip option now. So if you don't want to go through the loot and you just want to have the highest defense, which is totally fine for like, if you're just playing through the story, you are totally fine to do that. It's more like end game that you need to get into the builds. You can, of course, get into them earlier if you want to do that and have some fun with them. But you can auto-equip, and it also allows you to select a weight limit. So if you want to remain like heavy, mid, or light weight, you can select that, and it will auto-equip up to that weight limit with the best defense. So I think they've done a really good job with maintaining what kind of made Nioh special, because it is this mixture of like Souls-like, but also Ninja Gaiden. It's kind of in the middle, but then they also have loot and builds like a Diablo or Path of Exile kind of game, but they've made it more approachable. So I'm having a blast. I'm 40 hours in. I just made it to the second region of the game. I was fighting a 5 major bosses in a row boss fight just now, and I finally beat it. I'm having a good time.
I am enjoying the game as well. That was the perspective of a pro. This is my first real try when it comes to Nioh, and like I'm liking it. It is, you can feel the Souls elements there and kind of like some of the inspiration, but this is definitely its own thing. So like the first thing I would say is if you don't like Dark Souls or like Elden Ring, you might like this game, because I think it leans more towards action with like Souls elements, almost like kind of in that realm of like Wukong, but much more responsive and better. I think the combat's way better in this one. I think my favorite thing about this game is the player expression. Each player gets 2 classes with the samurai and the ninja, which means you have to build out 2 separate different things. And I feel like I played co-op with 2 different people already, and I feel like everybody's had a completely different build. And that's what I love most about RPGs, when you're able to like explore a world and do all this cool stuff. And then you get the experience with your friends, and everybody has a completely different experience, and you learn things from their play style. So I love the sense of player expression in this. I will say I do feel like there's a little bit too much loot that drops, and it's kind of pointless. So like I tend to not upgrade my character for like at least, I won't even look at the loot for like at least 2 hours at a time, just because like it just seems like it's not really worth it to, kind of like what you're saying with the Diablo thing, where you're getting something every 5 minutes, it feels like, that's like +1 maybe better than what you already have, and it doesn't feel like it's worth adding that every single time. I feel like they could do a little bit less with that, so I can just focus more on the gameplay. Because I'm not gonna lie, if you got OCD, the loot in this loot system in this game might drive you crazy. But I like the co-op too. I will say, I enjoyed the fact, can we clap it up, that I don't know why with these Souls games they've made it to where even just getting to play with a friend is difficult. I never understood the concept behind this. And this one, it's pretty simple. You just go to a rest spot and then you invite your friend, or you can join on them. And for the most part, it works. I will say, and maybe I know I could be wrong because Watts is further ahead. Still, I think we're still in the beginning area. Between the demo and the main game, I think I have 19 hours total. And by the way, friend of the show, Siggy, is still a higher level than me. I just hit level 40 last night. Somehow on the demo, he hit level 50. I don't know how. But anyways, And the areas that we're in, we played co-op last night. I feel like me and JG were just kind of running through enemies, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this might be the first Souls game where like it's a little bit too easy. I'm hoping it gets harder. When I play by myself,
I can give you a bit of perspective on that. So in the first region, I was not putting all of my points into things that made sense for me, right? Like health and stamina and skill, because I'm using hatchets and spear at the moment. And I was just dumping it into magic, because magic, I'm not using anything that scales with it. I'm not using any magic, and it gave me ultimately like 40 health, which I'm like, that's negligible. So I was doing that for like pretty much the entire first region until I got to the final like 3 bosses. And then I was like, okay, this feels like I actually want to build my character now. So I'm definitely at the point now where I'm like, I'm going all in on my stats and my build and making sure I'm really understanding my moves against different characters. So I do think when you get towards that final few bosses of the first region, that you'll feel like, yeah, it's
so
better
a good way to describe the game probably would be it is more accessible in the beginning to like ease people into these Soulsy types of games, but it will pick up as you learn the controls and the mechanics basically. Okay, that's good to hear, because I was worried about that going further. Go ahead.
Context, Watts loves to nerf herself. And she said this with Wu Chang as well with the axe. You like to do that stuff. So this is just Watts. This is what she loves to do. She'll mess around and literally be like a scientist in these games, experimenting with different things. So you are a different type of gamer. I don't think the average gamer would just be like, you know what? I'm not going to do any health this time. I'm just going to run through it and then see how far I can go.
I just want to be a stinky poison lady, all right? That's just all I want to be.
Give us your pros and cons though, Jay.
I pretty much am on the same wavelength as you, TBH. I think one of the things that I'm not a fan of at all is just the duplicate loot that again just has plus 1 attack power, plus 1 defense, and then has a whole bunch of different stats. I am totally like on the opposite spectrum of Watts. I'm just trying to kind of play it through, and if I see something cool, then whatever, but I'm not like looking at the intricacies of every single item. So when I came into your chat and I was like, yo, I have too much loot, what can I do? I'm glad that they have those options to again do like loot filters and auto equip, so they're there, but I don't think unless I asked you, I probably would have went through the options and found it.
That's one thing I wish they would have, is like just a pop-up of letting you know that it's in the settings, because it's in the settings. So unless you go into game settings and look for that, you wouldn't know that it's there.
Yeah, and that's kind of again going to the problem that TBH alluded to. It's well what you said, but it's so much in this game that it gets super overwhelming. It's so many stats. It's so many things that are going on in the world that again, it takes a while for you to really digest everything. Like it took me until yesterday to find out that there's a whole level up section for the samurai in ninja. Like I felt
it doesn't
dumb.
help. I think the UI is terrible. I think that's part of the
it's not the best. It's not the best. I thought it was just for the individual weapons that you could level up. I didn't know that it was samurai and ninja. So I was like, why don't I have deflect yet? Why don't I have this yet? And I was like, oh, here it is. Now I can really get into the intricacies of both of my classes. But on the positives, again, I understand now why you like Nioh so much, Watts. I totally understand. This game is fun as hell. I think that the combat alone, like, because I don't really care about the story right now. It's one of those Souls games that the story is there, but do you really care about it? No, we're here to slay some yokai. That's what we're here to do. So the ninja and the samurai, both of them are so dope. I'm leaning more towards the ninja right now. I'm playing with the split staff, and that's the things you can do with a split staff are so fun. I'm pretty much spinning to win. So it's super fun. I'm using the spear too on the samurai. So those are like my 2 weapons right now. But I love just flipping between the two, depending on what the situation is. So that's super fun. Like the combat is fast, it's fluid. Once I got used to like taking my brain off of the autopilot of, oh, can I deflect, can I parry, type of like slow playing it, that's when I started really getting into how to beat the bosses, because the first boss, like in the demo, was kicking my butt at first, and I was like, how do I do this? I don't know how to get past it. But once I got into it, and I was like, okay, now it's much more fluid, and now I understand it more. But yeah, the game is super fun. The co-op, like I said, like TBA said, it's super easy to get into. So I do appreciate it for that. I was saying on stream with TBH that Koei Tecmo now has a template or a blueprint now to make these games. Because as you mentioned, Wolong and Rise of the Ronin, which I didn't play Rise of the Ronin because I feel like that was ashy on the PS5, and I never went back to it on the PC. But I did play Wolong, and I liked Wolong. And if it wasn't for Lies of P, it probably would have been my favorite Souls-like of that year. But I get what you were saying, Watts, that they've learned from those games and they threw it all into Nioh 3, and now this is kind of like their like big release now, because now this is like a full Souls-like game in, under their umbrella. So I do get that part. I hope that in the future, because Nioh is obviously their most popular, like if they continue with Wolong or if they continue with Rise of the Ronin, or to make another one, like again, they're going to have their blueprint to do it. But Nioh is obviously their baby there. That is the main franchise in its genre. I just hope that they can continue to innovate here, again to From Software. I don't want them to become stagnant. And I think that there are still some changes that need to be done. Obviously, there were some performance issues, like I was getting fatal errors. Ethos will probably talk about his struggle. So there were some things that initially were kind of roadblocks in it, and they said that they saw it and addressed it. I know that someone from Koei Tecmo was in your chat, Watts, and they were like, oh yeah, we know what's going on. So those are fine. But just to let you all know, especially on the PC, you might run into some of those issues. Like, unfortunately, I still got a fatal error when I was done playing it last night. And I was like, I thought y'all said y'all fixed it, but I got another fatal error, and I'm like, I just hope that doesn't affect anything else. But overall, I'm loving the game. I totally understand. It wasn't a game that was initially on my radar, because Nioh 1 and 2, I did not like it, but I was also a Souls hater at that time. So I never went back after I played Sekiro and then started really getting into Souls-like games. But Nioh 3, getting into it, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, Watts, but is this a continuation story-wise from Nioh 1 and 2, or is it totally separate?
It is connected in that. So what Nioh does is it follows like historical events, but then they add like all this, yokai stuff on top of it. So it definitely is related to Nioh 1 and 2, but yeah, it's related in the history of what happened in those games. But
gotcha.
If anyone's concerned about that, by the way, they do have a little write-up of the story of Nioh and Nioh 2. If you really want to read it, it's in the game, so you'll be good to go.
I'm not.
You honestly don't need to. I think a lot of the story they almost kind of not expect, but maybe assume a little bit about Japanese history. So you're like, oh, I know this person, and then you know what their background is and who they were related to and everything.
If you played anything in feudal Japan in the Edo period specifically, the one name that I feel like everybody should know is Oda Nobunaga. They're always going to mention Oda Nobunaga. So like, if you play one of them, you played them all. And Samurai Warriors was like my thing.
Yasuke is in Nioh a lot. He's in Nioh a lot.
He showed up in Nioh 2, I think, when I played
he was in Nioh 2. There was a mission.
Because people were saying, they were like, is he in Nioh 3? We're waiting.
I'm waiting. We'll see if I can find him.
But I love it, though. I do recommend, if anybody who likes Souls-like games, or who just wants to get into it like me and TBH, never playing Nioh before, it's fine. Like you said, unless you really, really deeply care about the story and want to go back, as Watt said, I think you're fine to just hop in here and just play through the game and not really focus on the story as much, but just understand the history in a general sense of it, of what's going on.
I'll give a little bit of pushback to what you were saying. You said that like you hope that they continue to innovate. I feel like they did with Nioh 3, and I think that's what I like about it. It took a while because, like I said, I think one of my critiques is the UI is terrible, so you really got to play in the menus and figure it out. And maybe it's because I didn't play the other two. Let me know if they were there, Watts. But in this game, I think what is innovative in the combat is, so not only do you have a skill tree for the samurai and the ninja, you have a skill tree for every single weapon. And these skill trees are big. And as you unlock things on the skill tree for the weapons that you choose to use, it unlocks new moves. And then you have 4 stances in the samurai. And certain moves can only be equipped. Like, I think you get like 8 slots per stance or something like that. So it's got a little bit of FGC in there where, like, at first, admittedly, I was kind of reliant on my ability to dodge and parry and then punish, just kind of like the basics of Souls games. But like last night, when I figured out you can take those moves that you equipped and you can equip them to what slot you want per stance, and there's like 8 slots, you can then mix and match the moves that you unlock and create your own little combo system. And like, I'm using the axe right now, the heavy axe. It started off as kind of just basic and slow. But once you master that key system, which I don't know if we touched on, which is kind of
actually no, we didn't.
Yeah, so
we
like,
didn't touch like
the game
it's
has
a staple of the game too.
Yeah, what makes it unique is the game has almost like an active reload. So like every time you swing your weapon, your character will glow blue. If you hit the trigger at the right time, it'll restore some of your your stamina. So like if you master that key system in combination with mixing and matching the different moves, you can create your own unique fight style. And I started off really slow with like the heavy axe, which you would expect. But I'm not gonna lie, when you learn and unlock some of the moves and you put them in the right slots and you learn what strings together the best, I was moving and I was hitting like a truck. So like that's why I was asking earlier. I hope it gets harder because now I'm moving fast and I'm hitting hard as shit early in the game. So like I would say that I haven't seen that in a previous Souls game. It's one of those games. It's like it's easy to pick up and hard to. It's there if you really want to dive in deep.
It is deep, very deep skill system. Yeah, I agree with that. I was saying like in future titles, if they create another game that's not Nioh, because again they've already shown that they've done that with Wolong and Rise to Ronin. I just said I hope that they continue to innovate past that. But I was agreeing with what Watts was saying, that they put what they learned from Wolong and what they learned from Rise to the Ronin and built it all into Nioh 3.
I would throw that like in what I was mentioning earlier. Like I think the strongest thing, my favorite thing about this game is just the player expression. If you take the time to equip these moves and figure out the strings, you can make some dope shit that you can show off with your friends in co-op. Before I could toss it to you, Ethos, the one other negative I wanted to bring up is what I mentioned in the intro. Unfortunately, last night I ran into a bug where I hopped into co-op with JG and I fought a boss. He's a little bit further in the head of the story than me, and I helped him fight a boss that I hadn't seen yet. So I beat it, I get the reward, and then I load back into my world, and lo and behold, I was only like 20 minutes behind JG. So I got to the section where I helped him. But now the boss won't load. He said that the door is supposed to be closed. I open it and then we fight the boss. The door is just open. Also, the girl that's supposed to be there in the story, she doesn't load in like half the time. So I just ran off and started doing other stuff in the world. I was hoping, because I thought we were supposed to record the podcast later, I was going to try to hop on and see if I could figure out how to get this bug activated. But I'm going ahead. I'm letting it be known right here on the podcast. As much as I enjoy this game, if we don't figure out how to get past this bug, I'm uninstalling this shit because it's a game-breaking bug. I'm not going to restart. I'm already 20 hours in the game. I don't like any game that much where I want to restart 20 hours, and the same thing happened with Witcher 3. Granted, I did pour water in my PC by accident, but but it was 20 hours. I didn't want to restart. So I'm hoping and praying that we can figure out today how to get past this bug, because y'all mentioned earlier, I didn't even know y'all was having that. Y'all running into optimization issues with like fatal errors and stuff. I don't know what's going on with this game, but they got to clean up some of this optimization. Ethos, you got the floor. What's your take?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have the least amount of stuff. So unlike the internet, I'm not going to speak a lot on the game because I haven't been able to experience it as much as possible. But I've played Nioh for a very long time. I was a Nioh defender back when the first game came out. A lot of people were accusing it of being a copycat or a clone, like almost like a slur of like saying like compared to From Software. This is when I guess the From Software or Souls-born games were starting to appear for the first time. That were inspired by like Dark Souls, and I think Nioh was one of the first.
It was,
I remember. Yeah, it got some heat for that, but I think even still, I think it still scored relatively well. So yeah, there's like an old archive video somewhere around there with me talking about it. But I like Nioh 1 a lot, and Nioh 2, I didn't get super far in it, but I put a lot of hours into it. But I don't think I finished it because there was another big game at the time. But I did put a good amount of time into it. And then Nioh 3, I wouldn't say like I was ecstatic to play it, because like when I looked at the footage, I kind of was like, oh, this reminds me a lot of Nioh 2. But Nioh 2 was really good. So I'm like, I don't even think that's a bad thing. I got to play a little bit of it, but I really need to play more. I ran into like a really bad issue, and I'm not going to throw this on the game. Just because I think it was more like I was having some GPU issues with like my drivers. So I was going through like a whole week of just hell of like uninstalling drivers, rolling them back, trying to reinstall it. I think it was just like I updated one of my drivers, and then my computer like cut off mid-drive or something like that, and it like fried a lot of like back-end stuff. So I was busy like trying to fix a lot of those issues. So I don't know if it's necessarily the game's fault for why I'm having those issues, or I was having those issues, or it was just really mine. But I'm more inclined to say it was probably me. But from what a little bit of I played, again, I think that I agree with what Watts is saying. I think it's really been a refinement of kind of like that Elden Ring thing of like, this is everything that we learned from Nioh 2, and all the other like side projects that we were also working on. So this is us coming together and making this like really big, like the best of both worlds, the best of the best of the stuff that people really loved about those games. And outside of what you guys said, it seems like they really hit a home run on that. Aside like little things that are a little bit annoying, and obviously the bugs are a whole other thing that definitely fair criticism for. But yeah, it looks good. I can't wait to play it a lot more. I'm gonna try to stream it this week. I've been delaying it really long. And I guess the question is like, is this game of year nomination good?
That's what I was gonna ask next. Watch the
infamous question in February.
Yeah, it's hard I always think it's hard with these types of games because I think they don't tend to do well in these like game of the year nomination things. It tends to be like story, music. I mean, Lies of P didn't get nominated for game of the year, and that's like kind of worldwide known as like the best Souls-like. I think it's definitely possible. The game is really, really, really fun, and they've done a lot to make it accessible. So I definitely think it would be possible. Yeah, I mean, I'm just having the time of my life at the moment.
Game of the year. I don't know if it'll be nominated for game of the year for the simple fact that we got a game-breaking bug potentially on our hands here. So you're gonna have to ask me next week how I feel about that. Also, even if I didn't have that game-breaking bug, as much as I love the combat, I feel like everything outside of that is a little bit undercooked. Like I said, the UI isn't the best. The story is I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's not even remotely interesting to me. And I get, we don't always play these games for the story, but I did think Elden Ring's world was interesting. Lies of P did have a great story. I feel like the medium is getting a little bit better there. So like, I feel like we can't keep using that excuse. And I think a great story would take these type of games to like the next level for me. So like, that's not the best. I think this game will probably end up in my top 10 at the end of the year, but I don't know if I feel confident enough in saying that, it's going to get nominated at the Game Awards for like game of the year. I think it's a really good game, but it does have some glaring issues that I think is going to hold it back. But if you're the type of person where you don't care about the story and all the little things like the UI and the loot drops, this is a game that is hard carried by the gameplay. It is fucking fire. It's just straight up fun. You feel like Billy Badass. What you think?
I should touch on because I didn't mention this either. There's a part of the game called the Crucible, which is basically, it's almost like a hard mode area because you get hit, and when you get hit, it limits your max health. But the really cool thing about the Crucible is it drops Crucible weapons, and Crucible weapons can have Crucible arts on them. And the only way that you can learn those arts, which are moves for a weapon, is by maxing out your familiarity with the weapon that has that move on it. So for example, you can have like a spear. It's got a move called like Piercing Rain on it. If you use it enough, you get max familiarity with it. And then you can use that move with any spear. It opens it up in your skill tree for that weapon. So they've really incentivized as well you trying out all of the weapons. Like if you want to learn all of them, you can put on the Crucible weapons, change your weapon and learn them. And they've done that also by allowing you to completely reset your stats and all of your skill points whenever you want, totally for free. So if you find something cool and you see that move on the Crucible weapon, you're like, that's really cool, but that's for dual swords and I'm not using that right now. You can just take all of your points out of spear or whatever, put them into dual swords, and you're good to go. So I really like that Crucible system too. I think that's really fun with player expression.
Also with those weapons too, don't they double the damage and double the damage that you take?
Yes.
I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward type of situation. Yeah, shout out to, I love any game that doesn't have like an item that you have to use in order to reset your skill points. At this point, like, especially if you got like a plethora of weapons, just let us reset on the fly if we want to. So I appreciate that, because I've had a couple of times where I'm like, oh yeah, I like this weapon the most, and I'm like, well, if I got all these skill points in the axe, or I got all these skill points in dual swords or something, then I just reset it. Or in the skill tree for the weapons, or the Crucible moves, those red circle moves.
Some of them are that, but some of those are also from the ferret yokai. Yeah. Some of them are from like training missions. There's a bunch of different ways to unlock the
which
skill
I
tree.
was telling you about the ferrets. I wasn't getting a lot of spear moves. I was like, come on, man, all the other weapons but the one that I'm using. But back to the question of game of the year. Nah, I don't even think it's gonna get nominated. It's gonna be in my top 10 for sure. And I know we're already in February, but we're still in February, but it's gonna be in my top 10. But I think that a lot of people playing, because it's really like it's a lot of people playing right now. I think like on Steam, 42,000 people are
It's
playing
the biggest
it,
launch
like that RP yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really good. Shout out to Koei Tecmo for that. But it's more familiarity. Speaking of familiarity, I think it's more familiarity that a lot of people are like, hey, I already understand this franchise. Nioh 3 is good from what I've seen. It got good reviews. Watts hit her parlay once again on being a bias. Yeah, on her bias, she hit the parlay on her favorite game. So yeah, and I don't think it's gonna be there. And the only way that I think it might is if for some reason this ends up being like the only, which is not, but if it was like the only Souls like game on the block this year, but clearly not. We got a lot of other games that are teetering between the action RPG, Souls like type of situation. So we got some behemoths, we got some heavy hitters coming up, and unfortunately, I think as we get towards the end of the year, it's going to be one of those games that unfortunately get drowned out. I don't think it's a behemoth in the fact that people are going to be talking about this come December. I think it's unfortunately one of those games that's going to get thrown away to the wayside. It's
gonna be like all the other, like First Berserker Kazan got no love, Remnant no love, Lies of P no love.
And
all of these games get all of
Yeah.
them get no love. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
TBH, what was the boss that you were on that you got stuck? By the way,
you know the name of it, Jay? I don't know.
No.
What did it look like? Was it a fire water boss?
Yes, that one.
Okay, yeah.
The lady, the lady that helps you when you go up the stairs too. She's with you, so you're like jumping the boss. I thought JG did a summon for a second when I came in there.
Yeah, he blamed me immediately. I said, bro.
I said, what kind of playthrough is this?
I'm not doing the Mickey in here. I ain't summoning her. She is a NPC cold companion. They have those in there. I can't make her go away, bro.
Yeah, I'd go as far as to say, like, I think it'll be in my top 10. I don't think it'll get nominated. And I'll go as far as to say is I'm not even, as much as I genuinely, don't get it twisted, I actually really like this game. But I have a hard time recommending it just because, like, it ain't a T-pose glitch. I potentially have run into a game-breaking bug. So I don't even feel comfortable recommending it for like $70 right now. Maybe wait till like some patches come out or like a price drop. They say we'll see how I feel next week if we can figure this thing out, because right now I don't know, man. I might run into a potential.
If you guys are interested, there's a free demo that's still running for PlayStation and Steam. It's your progress carries over. So yeah, you're really not losing anything. It's a pretty substantial demo. So if you want to see if the game is for you, you can jump in, check it out for free, and your progress will be there if you decide to buy it.
It's a meaty demo too, by the way. I spent 11 hours on it, and I didn't even do everything. So you'll know if you like the game by the end of the demo. So definitely try it out. That's the good workaround. And before we even move on to the next topic, it was also revealed that if you are interested in Nioh but you're on Xbox, it didn't release on Xbox, but from this article it says that it is a 6-month exclusive, so it's more than likely coming to other platforms, but right now it's just on PC and PlayStation for like the first 6 months, and then don't be surprised if it does come to Xbox or maybe even the Switch 2. I feel like the Switch 2 could probably run this game. It's not the most graphically intensive game. It's just up to Nintendo if they want to support it. So it is going to be coming to other platforms for those that are not on PlayStation and PC. All right, with the Nioh 3 conversation out of the way, let's talk some of this news, man. And I think one of the biggest stories to come out this past week is, ladies and gentlemen, Overwatch is back. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this one, Ethos, because you were the Overwatch pastor. I remember you played this early and you said, oh, this is one of those ones. So whoever didn't catch this, Blizzard threw an event and they revealed that they are dropping the 2 out of Overwatch. It's now just Overwatch full live service they're going. But although they removed the 2, they're moving like it should deserve a 2, because they announced that they are dropping 5 characters that same day and there will be 10 by the end of the year. They're doing all the different balances and changes, like new maps and stuff like that. They're adding story elements in there. Some of it will be online that you can read. Some of it will be like in the game. They're adding a ton of content. And to me, in my opinion, this is why I think that competition is good because I think Marvel Rivals inspired this to the point where like I was actually gonna ask y'all if y'all were curious enough to hop back on it because I'm like at bare minimum I'm not that interested in Overwatch, but I will give it. They are trying now. I will give them that much credit. And I was like maybe we should try it out for like a couple hours like on a stream just so we could talk about it on the podcast. I was like 10 new.
Okay.
Oh, what you want to say, Jay? What you want to say?
Maybe for the podcast we can play it a little bit.
I guess, but I'm not playing it.
But I hate it. But if
I tried. Well, what's your take on this, Jason? You're not impressed by this reboot. You don't like Jetpack Cat?
What the heck, bro? They got a Hello Kitty collab coming. They said, man, Hello Kitty is everywhere, bro.
She's voiced by Femshep too, which is awesome.
I said on Twitter, I think that this is a new term. It's funny because of the timing of this. I said, did y'all pull a split gate here? Is this what we're doing, bro? Yeah, y'all reverted or what y'all called it. Shout out to Golden Boy. I remember when he was on the pod during the the infamous trial of TBH for committing his crimes in Elden Ring. Golden Boy was also there. You go. No, you did it. You did it.
Never beat me.
No, you did it. But we were talking about Overwatch 2 and Golden Boy again, who was a caster. He was very confused on why they did this. And this was years ago. And the fact that it took them this long to be like, hey, nobody likes the number 2 and all the changes that we made. So we're going to just revert back. I will never forgive them. I will never forgive Activision Blizzard because here's what they took away. They took away the story. They took away the co-op. I'm never forgiving them for this. I'm sorry. You have a chance for redemption though. If you bring it back, maybe I will consider playing the game again, like legitimately. But I was excited for that. I know that wasn't the general premise of the game. But when you all announced that and then scrapped it and then say, hey, we're making Overwatch 2, but it really wasn't Overwatch 2. And then you made the big change of not making it 6v6 and making it 5v5. They didn't like that. The community did not like that stuff. So the fact that you're just like, oh, man, we're just going to act like it doesn't exist, but we're going to try to, still update the game and give you all these new characters. It's not enough for me, man. Like what y'all did was unforgivable, in my opinion. I wanted to see the co-op. I wanted to see the story, to see what y'all really were cooking with, and the fact that it just went away and now 4 years later y'all decide to revert back, I don't understand. It's bad PR work in my opinion to even do this and make the decision that y'all made.
Ethos, were you impressed by the Black Emma Frost?
Absolutely. I gotta say, I was like on Black History Month, this is amazing. They also made Renata do Kendrick's dance for Not Like Us. So that was pretty funny as well. A little pandering on Black History Month, we'll take it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a viral tweet about this. People got mad at me. The Overwatch, there was Overwatch defenders. That's how I knew something changed. Because there were people who went on my tweet trying to defend it. Because I said, so let me get this straight. You first relaunched the game, you called it Overwatch 2, and before the game came out, you spent so much, a year, gaslighting the community and trying to say this is going to be a true sequel. Then you dropped half of the things that you promised. They didn't make it into the game at launch, and they haven't made it into the game for a whole year and a half, or not even a year, multiple years. This come out like 2020. Golly, it's been a while. So yeah, you guys were in the ditch, and I agree with you, TBH. I think Rivals, put a fire under their ass, and they realized, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, all the characters look like characters from Marvel Rivals. Like they had same movesets. I think the fire chick had the same ult as what's the old girl? The purple one with the sword. Psylocke. Psylocke, yeah, she moved just like Psylocke with just like fire. Like they were. I was like, these are like the same characters, bro.
I think it's fair to say that Rivals was the Overwatch killer, as in it made them start to realize we're gonna die. And I know people will put up the player numbers, be like, no, there's still over 10K people there. But I was like, but how many did y'all have before Rivals came out, and how many do you have now? There was definitely a definitive whoop, and then Deadlock also whoop. I think Deadlock's also, they're scared of Deadlock. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize.
I think Deadlock, that game is, when it goes open beta, it might be a problem. I mean,
people are sleeping on Deadlock.
It's popular.
I was like, I played it months ago, last year. I was playing it like 60 hours. I have 60 hours on it last year, and that game is frustrating to play. Yeah, but I'm still going to try to get back into it because now they drop like several.
And you never talked about it on the podcast?
There's no reason to. Y'all don't play it. Y'all know.
Still shared your opinion. You fucking.
Wait, was this when you weren't allowed to talk about it?
Yeah,
Because it's
so
only pretty
okay,
recently that you could actually talk about it.
there was like a private thing that you could get
Yeah.
into. I got into that. I couldn't speak about it publicly, and then they made it where it's like, oh, you can say stuff, but it was still like very early. Now
Yeah.
it's like Deadlock looks like really like I don't know if you looked at it, but if
Dude,
you look
those
at how it was
characters
last.
look so good. Their
gonna
character
say it.
design is crazy.
I'm gonna say right here, Valve is some of the greatest writers I've ever seen because the characterization of each of them and like the way they interact, it's peak.
Mhm.
It's I'm not even joking. One girl told her and said one girl was having a conversation with another and she said, hey, so when you have that little clover, is that something you get for being like a theater girl or something? And this girl looked at her and said, I hope you get shot. That's what she said. She did say that shit. I said, dang, I'm just trying to have a conversation. And she said, yeah, and I think you should get shot. Like, I'm like, bro, what is this?
That's kind of
And
amazing.
they got this little guy. I know Watts will love him. There's this little guy called Rem, which is like
the cat,
when you're
the sleepy
asleep,
cat.
little sleepy
Yeah.
cat guy runs around and he's like, I'm gonna hit him with my pillow. And then like one of the other characters is like, you know they have guns, right? Like it's genuinely like some of the, I watched some of it
really
on
good.
TikTok. It's genuinely like some amazing character writing that I haven't seen since like OG Overwatch. So they like I think that a lot of people don't realize this. Yeah, I think Marvel definitely burnt it, but I also think they know that Deadlock is hiding in the darkness right now with like red eyes. And I think when it pops out publicly and it releases, I think it's gonna take over like a big amount of people because it actually overdid Marvel Rivals on Steam. I think recently.
Yeah, 100,000
So,
players on a closed
yeah.
beta. That game is
crazy.
That's crazy.
This is Valve, yeah, and I'm like, yo, this Valve's
Mhm.
been. This is the thing. Valve just got so much money. They go at their own pace. They're like, whenever we release this, we release it. We don't care. I remember when it got leaked. They said we still don't care, and then they just been like, oh, we're gonna drop. Okay, I just want to understand, just so you have to understand the context. Overwatch did this and was like 5 heroes, and everyone was like, oh my god, wow, we're back. Valve literally did that a week ago. They literally had 5 heroes, 5 to 6 brand new heroes, and they said the community votes which one comes out first. So the community every week was voting on which of the 5 they like previewed. Who do you want to see first in the game? And the community, based off their feedback, they say we want this one, and they just put them in the game. And they just update the game every like week, every month. They're just updating it, changing it, adding new assets to it. It's some peak like game development. Valve is cooking. So yeah, and it's like a mix of, which I think you guys will like it. It reminds me of Paragon. It plays a lot like Paragon does. And like a little bit of that hero shooter, a little of that like Marvel Rivals feel, but it also has that Paragon running the lane, protect the lane, split up in lanes, ganking each other. So I'm like, it's like reminds me of like a little bit of Marvel Rivals, a little bit of like hero shooter aspects, a little bit of Paragon. But anyways, that was like a whole other tangent. About Overwatch, yeah, I see some people, and I'll bring this up in the podcast. Some people were just like, well, you don't know that it's another team and da-da-da-da. And I get that. I get that originally the team that had promised all this PvE and stuff like that, I get that was Jeff and that was his previous. And that's why Jeff left, was because they didn't let him finish that sort of stuff. They didn't let the OG team finish it. So I know that this is like a different type of team. But the person leading it was part of the originals that did work on Overwatch 2. So he was helping develop the original, what they wanted to do with Overwatch 2. And I gave him credit, like, since he basically got forced into it's just like, hey, bro, we just fired everybody who was like the lead creators behind this. You're up. And yeah, I give him credit. Like, that's a hard thing to, have to take over. And people already beating the crap out of you, like Sean Murray levels of just clowning you. So, it does take a lot of good leadership to pull this stuff off. So I think Overwatch, yeah, it's a good direction. I think we could play it maybe this week or next, see how we're vibing with it, and see if it's any cool, to JG's detriment. But, I think it looks cool. I love a black queen, so I'm going to support. And the cat's voiced by my favorite voice actress of all time, Jennifer Hale, who's Femme Shepard from Mass Effect. So, we stand. Yeah, it looks cool.
Is this Overwatch update doing anything for you, Watts?
It definitely makes me say, maybe I'll check it out, because they're doing like a big update, and it's probably going to have a bunch of people returning to it, so it'll be a good time to try it again. I think Overwatch always felt great, right? Like, it's a really polished game. So I've always kind of had fun when I've played it, but I've just never really felt the need to stick around to play it. I know a lot of players are very angry because there was Overwatch and they had all of their skins and all of their progression and all of their everything, and then Overwatch 2 came out and they like got rid of all of it, right? And now they're like, oh, just get outside, it's Overwatch. So like, they're like, no, screw you. I had all this stuff, you took it away from me, and then ultimately we didn't get the PvE that you said we were going to get. There was no reason for the Overwatch 2, and we're just back to Overwatch, but I lost a bunch of stuff.
They also gaslit the audience
also
too.
true.
Said,
Yeah,
no,
gaslit
the
us for
2 is
years.
deserved. And we said, no, it wasn't. And now you're admitting it.
That's I totally forgot about that, Watts.
Exactly.
That's a good point. I don't even think it because like you said, I was an OG Overwatch person. I put
Yeah.
you and me together. We played. I think JG too. We put a lot of hours into that.
We
I
played
bought
like good 2
skins on
years.
that game. Yeah, and they're gone. I can't get access to any of the skins. I spent like a bunch of loot boxes opening while just playing the game. So yeah, they owe me skins. That's the only way I'll forgive them. They owe me.
They should do that. They should.
Yeah.
They should go back and
revert
like
back and get 'em.
they should put the skins back and make them all free. Honestly, like all the old ones, just have them available for
I
everybody.
don't hear no excuse about it was different. No. I know how games.
I think you
work.
just have to do it.
You can
good
fuck
faith.
them
That's a good
over.
faith.
Yeah, that would be a good faith thing.
But yeah, I'm happy that, like you said, competition breeds innovation. It helps companies really step their game up, and I think that's definitely what we're seeing here. And yeah, hey, if I could get into Overwatch, that'd be great because they do have the best collabs. I'm always looking at them like, damn, they got good collabs. But yeah, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try when they do the update. Might as well.
Just another example of why live service games are the devil. Nintendo Direct. We had a Nintendo Direct since last week. They kind of announced it out of nowhere. They announced a bunch of stuff, mostly ports, and then like some RPGs here and there. Anything standing out into anybody coming to the Switch 2 this week's Nintendo Direct?
I mean, my first parlay showed up. Orbitals had another trailer. Orbital's looking really good. This is the like 90s, 80s anime art style co-op game. They showed off that it's very similar to It Takes Two kind of experience, but it's got this super dope like 80s, 90s soundtrack with the art style. And they are doing the same thing that they do in a lot of these co-op games where if you buy one copy, you'll just need one copy for you and your whoever you're playing with. So it continues to look really good. I'm really excited for that game. I think it looks really, really good. And I'm glad it keeps looking good because I need more games that look like that. It's such a cool art style.
I got 2 major takeaways from this Nintendo Direct. I agree. The best thing they showed was Orbitals. Which, by the way, I think we should give credit to Haze Light Studios because I mean it's very obvious this was inspired by It Takes Two and Split Fiction. It's the same exact design with the split screen and the co-op puzzles, the platforming, and then also like you said, you buy one copy, you get 2. I'm like, all right, we got to give them their flowers because I'm like, this is an example of why competition and innovation is good because now we're seeing other people do something like this, and like that's good for the consumer where you get 2 copies for the price of 1. And then the other major takeaway I had from this Nintendo Direct was if you only own a Switch 2, like you're balling on a budget, like I feel like you'll be okay. Because there wasn't a lot outside of Orbitals. There wasn't a lot that like I was super interested in, and it's mainly because it's coming to other platforms. But I think that's good if you're balling on a budget because notoriously Nintendo has had an issue with third-party support. But they show Pragmata's coming, Resident Evil 9, like a bunch of other games alongside their more traditional kind of JRPGs. Like Silk Song got announced for it, so like it's getting decent support. It feels like. It's just I wish they would have shown more exclusives. Like I want to see the Dust Bloods, but I mean it was okay. Any thoughts, Jay?
Yeah, there were some games that looked really ashy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Some games that looked really ashy. They look like DS games. Did you see Valheim? Valheim.
I skipped the trailer.
Valheim looked legit like a DS game. I watched all of these trailers. I said, bro, what am I looking at right now? This is supposed to be a Switch. Like they still show Switch games. I get it. We're not even the full year into the life cycle of the Switch 2, but I'm not trying to see no ashy ass Switch games. I'm sorry, bro. Like Nintendo needs to give it up. Like we talk about the PS4 people, PS4 brokies who just can't give it up, and now Sony is like, hey, like y'all need to get a PS5. I think that Nintendo needs to fast track that and be like, hey, just get this Switch 2 right now because it was one of these games.
Wait, this is a Switch 1 game? I got the footage up. Yes. It does look like a DS
Valheim
game.
is a Switch 1 game.
It does not. So like,
it's a PC game,
I just read the article, the summary, because I didn't get it live. I skipped past this shit because I'm like, Valheim is just a port. I don't care. But I didn't actually look at it does look ashy. I ain't gonna lie.
Tokyo Scramble, they said hopefully that's better than Cold Violet because that's one of those type of game that has dinos.
Okay,
it was
they
on
call them
PC.
Xenos.
It was on PC on 2020.
Is that the one with the dinosaurs? That
Scramble.
game you're talking about?
Yeah, Tokyo Scramble
this
was the one with the dinosaurs.
So I didn't watch the direct directly. I watched this trailer afterwards, and there's a really like weird song playing during this trailer, and everyone who watched it live, they're like, that song was not in the direct. And like during this trailer, this song is playing. It's like doesn't fit it at all. And there's like a billboard that pops up that is clearly like the singer and the song. And then she's listening to the song and she's like singing it. And I was like, hold on. Is this game like an ad for this song? What is going on? I'm so confused. Like, listen, go and watch that trailer, anyone who's listening. And it's very confusing. I don't know. I think it might actually just be an ad for.
Interesting. Shout out to Ethos, because the Switch 2 people finally get to experience Digimon. They showed that. So that's cool. They get that. The other game, they showed Turok Origins. I haven't been a Turok fan, but it was funny they had 2 Dino games there. But shout out to the people that like Turok. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales actually looked quite interesting. It was one of those games that looked like a traditional, like old school JRPG, but it also like it mixed in between that like regular turn based and a 3D realm. So I was like, okay,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, that was all right. And Kyoto Xanadu looked okay too.
I put that on my list to keep an eye on it because I thought that looked kind of cool. So it's coming out in summer sometime. Don't know when it's gonna be, but it definitely looked interesting.
Yes. Yeah, oh, thank God.
What?
Okay. Sorry. My parlays went through.
You good, bro?
Yo, what a fucking feed, bro. I can't. My parlay hit. Oh, thank God.
You got one of them.
I'm talking about the fantasy. I'm talking about our fantasy. I was terrified Watts was gonna steal another one from me. So I was in the.
You gotta state that it is NBA games going on while we record.
No, I'm not talking about sports. No.
I made another bid. He made another bid.
I made three. I said, I'm gonna catch up.
I didn't look this week.
TBH, you need to start bidding. You are behind astronomically.
He don't care, bro. He ain't gonna care again.
Y'all ain't playing for money. Hey, what did you gushing before the show about
$5 right now?
We talk about Monster Hunter Stories 3. What did you talk about that, Watts? What was you gushing about that for?
Yeah. So Monster Hunter Stories 3 had another trailer at the Nintendo Direct. This was showing off that they have a demo. Usually these games demos last like forever. They never take them down and progress carries over. So you can check it out. The demo is also on everything. It's not just Nintendo. It's just they had the trailer at the Nintendo Direct. So Monster Hunter Stories is like a turn-based game where you don't hunt the monsters. You kind of interact with them like you would Pokemon. So you can fight them, you can capture them, you can raise them, you can fly on them on a dragon, you can ride them over the sea. Like, it's that kind of experience. And they've been making these games for a long time. I think it's been like 10 years since they made Monster Hunter Stories 2. And this is their latest one. It's coming out in March. People seem really impressed with it. Like, I've seen so many tweets on Twitter saying, this is what we want from Pokemon. Look how good it looks. Look at this art style. Because it's super detailed. Like Rathalos in Monster Hunter Wilds and Rathalos in Monster Hunter Stories 3 are very similar in their technology that is used to make them. It's just the art style is different. So it's super detailed, but it's got this just colorful like art style going on. So people have been really, really, really impressed by it. I think this is going to be another one of those situations where it was a dormant franchise. You know, Monster Hunter really blew up in the West with World, and Stories is now coming out, and I think it's going to capitalize on that. And I think a lot of people are going to be pretty impressed. It's a game where it's a cozy, like, you don't want to hunt the monsters? You can play this game. They're called Monsties, and you breed them, and you can make friends with them, and you can, and then you fight in like a turn-based combat style. So the games have always been really good. I think just people didn't know about Monster Hunter as much, 10 years ago. So I think this one's going to do really well for them.
I feel it.
For another free demo with progress that carries over.
I feel like I'd rate this one like a 5 or a 6. Like, it didn't blow me away. Like, there's like
I have another game.
Oh, good.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. So Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is a action RPG where you can play solo or you can play co-op with up to, I think it's 4 people total. I played this game when it first came out because people were saying it's kind of like Monster Hunter, and I was like, what are you talking about? And the end game literally is like Monster Hunter. You can co-op with your friends, you pick a target, you go hunt them, you get parts off of them, and you make weapons and stuff and upgrade your character with parts from them. So they did a couple of updates to this game that were free. They added some characters to the game, but then they were like, okay, we're done with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, no more. And then randomly we find out that they're dropping an actual expansion July 9th for this game. So they're adding new characters, new story, new bosses, new all that stuff. So
why they make the trailer private? I don't know if y'all see that in the article. I couldn't even play it. I mean, they made it.
That's weird.
You want us to buy the game or not? What the hell?
That was weird. The game was really cool though. It was being able to experience this world that kind of originated from a gacha game, and now it's also got like a fighting game, and they decided to make this like action RPG co-op game, and I think it was really good. I really had a good time with it. So I will be jumping in again when they launch their expansion. It's a very positive on Steam.
What would y'all rate this? What would y'all rate this Nintendo Direct? I was saying like a 5 or a 6 for me. Like it was okay. It was something.
Easy.
I'd probably do like a 6. Yeah, I think that sounds about right for me.
I'll give him a 5.
What'd you say, Ethos?
ZZZ.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Out of 10. Okay. Well, let's get your take on this story. This one was pretty well. I feel like it should be bigger, but I don't really see a lot of people talking about it. So, Valve is getting sued for $900 million, and the gist of the story is that the UK, a bunch of people came together and they're suing Valve for $900 million. The lawsuit states that Valve makes rules that makes it hard for other game stores to compete, and that can hurt both the makers and the players. One of the claims is that Valve will make game makers, they make the game maker keep the prices the same on Steam as other stores, so like GOG and the Epic Game Store. So if it's like 30 on Steam, Valve somehow makes GOG and Epic's store the same price. So that other stores can't offer cheaper prices. Another claim is that Steam makes it harder to use extra DLC. So like basically because let's say you buy the game on Steam, but then maybe the DLC is cheaper on GOG, you can't run the DLC on Steam, so it kind of forces people to stay within the ecosystem. People are saying that like that's anti-consumer. They don't like that Steam takes 30% cut from game devs. And then they're saying that they have too much power. They own like 80 to 90% of the digital market on PC gaming. Some of that stuff I kind of agree with. I want to hear what y'all takes are, but then there's some like other stuff here in this article where I'm like, what? Like this one right here where it says that Steam is popular because it has a lot of sales, a big community, and it's easy to use, not just because of its rules. And I'm like, so you're upset that they're offering a better product? I don't know. Do you think that they have a case here, Jay?
This one is tough. So after like really deep diving into this, I see some things that I agree with and some things that I don't. One is, I mean, the familiarity. Everybody knows about Steam. We've talked about this many times. PC gamers are very like loyal to Steam, and they just don't want to play on anything else. So I think that there's little or nothing that you can do from a consumer standpoint to get people to go to something else. Like people say that they hated Epic Games Launcher. GOG is probably the closest as far as like just pure like this is a storefront for PC games, but people don't like Ubisoft. They don't like EA. Like they don't like anything else. So like they're just not going to go over to anything else. As you know, you can scream to the high heavens, but it's going to be super hard for you to entice someone to play on a different launcher. And the only ways, and I see that Epic has been successful, and in some cases GOG has been successful, is when you have exclusives on there, like you talked about Alan Wake most recently, you know, and how, you know, what Epic did for them. But there were still people, the whole reason why they came up because they're like, well, is it coming to Steam? Is it coming to Steam? There's always a question that follows up with that. But that would be one only reason that people would go to one of those other launchers, because they're basically forced to. And that's how the sentiment has been on PC for the consumer. People feel forced to go on these other platforms, these other storefronts in order to play these other games. And they're like, hey, why is it not on Steam? Another thing that I feel like is just super whack and I feel like it's unfair is the DLC argument, because I mean, you can't right now, you can't buy DLC on the Xbox and play it on the PlayStation. So what is the difference? They try to make it seem like Steam is being the devil here, and oh my god, just because I bought this game and the DLC is on the Steam version, if I go over to like say Xbox Game Pass, for example, I can't do that. But there have always been those roadblocks. It sucks, but I mean, we have things like cross progression. Shout out to the games that do allow cross progression. But I get the DLC part. But again, it's not just Steam doing that. So I feel like that's an unfair argument to bring up. So some of these things, I just feel like they're just being extremely nitpicky. Because I ain't gonna lie, man, they sound like some haters right here. It's like, hey, man, like Steam was the one that came up, and that was one of the only storefronts. But now that we're trying to bring in competition, we're upset because y'all own the more than the majority of the PC consumer base when it comes to these games. But one thing I will mention, and then I'll pass it off, that I do feel like they do have a case on is the fact of the sales, because I wasn't aware that Steam was allegedly telling, these gaming developers and gaming publishers to put their game at a certain price and basically have it so that if another storefront like Epic Games, for example, wanted to make it cheaper, they couldn't, because they wanted to make it that same price. Again, Steam does these sales all the time, but if Steam is telling them, hey, you need to make it, for example, $34.99, and it has to be that price across the board. And if Epic Games wanted to make it $30.99 from launch, not on the sale, but from launch, then they can't do that. I feel like that is pretty whack. I don't like that. And again, this is all alleged that they're doing that. So if they are saying that to Steam, that's kind of a little bit shady. And then the whole fact that, they said that Steam takes 30%, even though other storefronts, like they mentioned Nintendo and Xbox and Sony, that were also doing the same thing. That was another thing that when Epic Games came in, they said, hey, we're not going to take 30% from you. But the other side of that, the caveat to that is they said that indie devs that they focus on here felt like they needed to put it on Steam, because if you don't, it might just stifle like your overall sales and overall visibility, because Steam is that storefront is going to give you the maximum visibility compared to, again, if you put it on Epic or GOG, especially if you're going to do it exclusively. So they said that they felt forced there, but they said on the other side, if their game ends up blowing up, then you're going to get the maximum profit there. So there are pros and cons here, but I feel like a lot of the things that they were citing here are just totally unfair and nitpicky. I just feel like they're hating on Steam just for existing, not for some of the practices that actually make sense that I feel would make a case here to sue them for this amount of money.
Yeah, I think for this lawsuit, if I could advise them, I think that they should cut down on their claims, because I think they might have a case here for a couple things. Is if they have the evidence. I agree with you on the part about if it's true that Steam is going under the table and telling these developers, hey, if you're going to put your game that's available on our platform and other platforms, it better be the same price. If they're low-key dictating that, that's foul. They need to present the receipts in court, and I think they have a case there. And then I feel like they might have a case with the 30%. I know that that's the standard with PlayStation and Nintendo and Xbox, like the other platforms as well. But I think maybe if they just wanted to get in the good graces of gamers, maybe drop it to like 15-20 for indie developers, like it's their first game, and then 30% for like AAA studios. But like this other stuff that they're talking about, I feel like it's just hearsay and context. I kind of agree with you that it just seems like they're hating, like them saying that they own 80 to 90% of the market. And I feel like that's contextual. I can't believe I'm defending a corporation, but for like 20 years, Steam was the only platform where you could download digitally. Before, you had to go to the store and buy discs or whatever. So because they were first to market, that is why they're dominating. And now that GOG and Epic Game Store, those are new within the last 5 to 10 years. So it's like you came to the market late, you are going to have to compete. And that's why I said they should probably cut down on this argument and really focus on trying to prove that point about them forcing developers to price their games on other stores, because then you could argue that you're being anti-competitive, which that's the whole point, I think. So I think they should focus a little bit on that, because the whole 80 to 90%, that's irrelevant. You guys are just late to the market. So I'm curious to see how this one plays out. You're a game dev, Ethos. Well, what's your take
You
on
already
this?
knew it was coming. You already knew.
What's your take on this, man? Do you feel like 30% is too much?
Yeah, I think 30 is way too much. I think if you're a AAA studio, you can pay that. You don't care. Matter of fact, which I thought was very weird. Not even weird. It makes sense, but kind of just shows like the corporate just state of just Valve. These corporations are not your friends. And I think a lot of gamers forget that, and especially with Valve. I think they give Valve a lot of grace, but I think we've been PC gaming for a very long time, but you guys all remember back in the day how bad Valve's customer support was.
Steam used to be really slow too, like the
it used
launcher.
to be
Like,
really
it got
slow
better.
to refund. Yeah, before there was like refunding and stuff like that. Remember how bad it used to be to like if you did have a technical issue, getting your money back, getting them to respond to you about issues. They used to be really bad, and I think it was so bad. I think they had it was like a submission of like the FDA. I think there was a submission of their company of saying like they were doing bad business practice with the FDA. I think maybe that was what caused them to immediately do stuff. I am scared of the day that that Gabe does, pass away, because I'm terrified of what Valve could become with somebody who's way more who don't care about anything about the gaming thing. And I think Gabe is a lot of the reason why a lot of Valve has been as successful as I've watched a couple of his like seminars and just conversations that he's had during like seminars and interviews. Very smart, and he understands, like he definitely has the business mindset. He also has a creative mindset, but he understands business, especially the gaming sector, very well. Which, I mean, Valve makes free money, so they print money, so it makes sense. I am kind of in the middle. Like I don't care. Like even with my own project, there's stuff that I'm under NDA. I think I was under NDA for when I set up, so I can't speak on a lot of the stuff that's in the back end of how Steam works with like setting up. I think all game devs are required to sign it. You can't talk anything about like how you're supposed to like upload your game to Steam, like that sort of stuff. I don't know if there's anything about like the pricing. I could just speak that like I don't recall any time when I was using it if like Valve, maybe I missed it because we hadn't gotten to the point of like dedicated pricing yet for Samurai Zero, but I don't recall if there was anything about you can't do a different price somewhere else, but I could be wrong on that.
I think it's not, from what I saw looking into it, I think there's no public documentation of that policy, but they're saying that Steam does it through like threats or like that kind of
some
thing.
mafia shit.
Yeah, they're
which
on
ain't cool.
through like like if that's happening, that's clearly not.
Like if that was
good,
happening,
but
I feel like more devs would have leaked that, or at least had like said something about that, especially ones who like, let's say, like are mad to Valve about what they do.
I don't know, Ethos, because Nintendo be doing all that stuff too. Like the only time that we see Nintendo do something in public is when they suing somebody, but they do a lot of stuff in the background too.
Let me give you pushback on that. The reason I'm leaning towards it might not be true. This whole mafia stuff is if you really had a case that they were being anti-competitive, why not just sue them for that alone is a crazy storyline that you're bullying developers on the low. So present the receipts and do that instead.
Because
they have
Google and Apple got sued and they lost because they did a similar, like not a similar thing, but they basically locked you out of being able to compete with other platforms.
I was going to argue. I'm leaning towards it's not true, and it has more to do with they just don't want to compete. Because also in the past week, this article came out. You guys can't see it, but they'll see it in the video. I don't know if y'all saw this. I didn't put this in the notes, but the CEO of Epic admitted that the Epic game launcher sucks. So like, I feel like when you go to court and you present this stuff where half the argument is, oh, they're being anti-consumer, and the other is just like they had too much power, but you're also saying that our launcher sucks. I could also just argue in defense that you guys aren't being competitive, period. I feel like they're countering themselves when they do this
I want
you didn't even try.
About that is like, so they're saying that, Steam has a monopoly when like it's not because they are like manipulating the market. Maybe they are, but they're already admitting that the Epic launcher kind of sucks, and they've even have like it's 12% cut the Epic client. I think it's 12.
Epic's is way low.
It's way lower. Yeah, like they undercut Steam.
If you have Unreal Engine, it is under 5%. Like I think it's like 5% or less.
It's 12. It's 12.
They incentivize, like if you have Unreal Engine games, and that doesn't even include if they do a deal with you. So if they do a deal with you, I bring this example up all the time because there's a lot of gamers who are pissed at Epic. You know, I think it's fair criticism, but I also think there's a lot of, which I think ties into, there's an argument to be said that there is a monopoly with Steam. There's a lot of fanboying going on with Steam, that Steam is perfect, and that they've just been so honed into using Steam's ecosystem that they refuse to try anything else. And there's been examples of this where like they'll say something and say like what your guys are saying, right? You'll make the argument and say, well, there's not good competition because the platformer is wrong or blah, blah, blah is wrong, right? But then you'll say, for example, okay, you guys care about game devs, or you care about your favorite studio, indie studio, getting money, right? Let's say for you was, right? Now, let's say your favorite indie studio has the game available on 2 platforms, Steam and Epic. Which one are you picking?
I'd pick Steam.
You on the default every time.
Right. So now they'll use that logic and they'll say, but let's say the developer also says, I get more money if you buy the game on Epic.
Yeah.
Now, you might be more inclined to say if you really care about the developer, you'll do it. But I know a majority of gamers will not. They'll say they care about game devs, but when they tell you, I get more money off of this other platform, I'll give you another example. GOG. Now, GOG does not get a reputation for saying it's a bad launcher. Matter of fact, GOG is one of the few launchers that has no DRM, which is better than Valve. And on top of that, has better rates. Obviously, like if you buy anything through like CD Projekt from them, they get all the money. But on top of that, they preserve games. So they're preserving a lot of old school games that are getting shut down that you can't get access to anymore, and they're revitalizing them and putting them on GOG, right? Here's another example. If you had both of these games available on Steam or GOG, which are you doing? I'm pretty sure you just do a stat check, or you could just literally look at sales. I guarantee you they're all Steam. The majority of them are going to be Steam. So now you have to ask yourself, you got to be like, okay, why is this pattern happening? Because I'm giving you 2 examples of one. Here's an example of, you could say that you hate, Epic, or don't like the platform, right? But you, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, but if you're trying to support, or you say you want to support, something is preventing you from, you still don't want to make that jump. And then GOG, which is the other one, you still won't make the pick off of that. Like when I did Cyberpunk, like I went with GOG. I didn't go with Steam because I wanted to make sure they got all the money that I did
directly from CD Projekt Red.
Right, because it's CD Projekt Red, right? And then the only other way you can counter this, like with Ubisoft and EA, was like, and this is another example you could use for the suit, is they tried to force their games on those platforms, right? Like EA used to be, you could only get on EA Launcher, and granted, it was ass. Ubisoft, same thing, people say it's ass. But you could only pay them there, but then they were kind of, in a way, their hands were forced, and they had to go to Steam. All the games now are on Steam. Like they've just been forced. Now you can argue, okay, is it just competition that's doing this? Which I think we can all say, yeah, I think to a degree, I do agree that I think competition is the reason why their hands are being forced. But there's a weird unspoken thing that's happening right now where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like it's a human thing. Steam, no matter what.
It's a human thing. I think anytime you give humans an easier option, they're always going to choose the easier option. Because I can actually equate this to music. Because I don't know the exact percentage, but I know for a fact a website like Bandcamp pays the artist way more. So like if you go to Bandcamp and you buy the album, they'll get like 90% of the money versus you streaming it on Spotify or YouTube. How many of y'all do you know people are actually buying the album off of Bandcamp? So I think it's a human thing. It's just like
Tidal's another example. Tidal was giving the artist more was it stream, right? Like
but Jay-Z was on the island, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. But you get what I'm saying. Like that. Like I feel like there's something that needs to be said. I don't know if regulation is the answer. Maybe it is. But there's something weird that I think needs to be more research, or we need to have, I'm sorry, we're going back to intellectualism. We need to get experts who understand this stuff psychology-wise and stat-wise, and we need these people to like look into this and be like, what is causing, like whether it's like familiarity or if it is a psychological thing that is forcing people or convincing people, not even convincing, but not sheepish, but you know what I mean? Like it's making them used to what's already been in existence. Now, I think a lot of it is, which to remember, Steam was just there first. I think that's what a lot of it is. Steam was there first, and Steam used to be terrible too, but it got better over the years. It took them a while, but they got really
Epic
good.
hasn't gotten better.
And Epic hasn't gotten better, but on the same part, I'd have to figure out how long it's been. Like, if it's the same amount of time, then I'd be like, oh, Epic, there's no fucking excuse. But if Epic does, like, the things that people were criticizing of Epic, right? There's no achievements. There's petty stuff where I was like, really, guys, this is really what we're.
Like, I really care about the achievements.
Yeah, you really care about this thing. But then they're like, okay, we'll add that. Or, okay, there's this issue of like, I can't see my downloads for multiple or something like that. Okay, yeah, we'll add that. I think they could be better at that for sure. And I think there's other stuff that Epic. But I do think that at a point, which is what I said too, if we really get down to the truth of it, I said which was my biggest argument. The biggest thing Epic got criticized for was the whole exclusive deal. It was the whole idea of them remember this, quote unquote, stealing games away from Steam, which is what people wanted it on, and being forced to there, which you could say is maybe like anti-competition, or that's a whole other argument. But the interesting part, which I would love your guys' thoughts on this, I saw the same people who said, I will support the developer, but they're forcing me to be on a platform I don't want to be, so I'm not going to give them any money. And so people would boycott Epic and those games and say, I refuse to buy this game until they go on Steam.
Yeah.
But then what happened was I said a perfect scenario. I said, I had an argument with a friend about this. I said, okay, what if Epic paid or funded 4 games and then they made them exclusive, kind of like same thing Sony does, right? Mm-hmm. Would you still get mad at it and would you buy the game if it was a good game? And they would say, well, yeah, da-da-da-da. But I saw when Alan Wake 2 came out, they did the same thing. They still were like, I'm not going to support this at all. So I don't know what that means. I'm not smart enough to understand the psychology of
I think TBH was onto something with it's like the human element, because you get so many free games from Epic, like straight up free. No money. All you have to do is download the launcher and you get a free game. But still, they don't want to do it, right? And we're talking about something that is free. So you're offering free games. You're doing all of these exclusivity deals to get all these games, and some of them are pretty freaking good, and you still can't compete in the market. So why is that? Is it a human thing? Is it that you're not using your Fortnite money good enough to make the launcher appealing for people? You know, I think it's a broader thing than just like Steam's threatening developers, and that's why we're losing.
Agreed. I think it's a multifaceted thing. It's like what you said.
It is
somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's always one thing or another. I don't think it's Steam is just really perfect, because it's definitely not. I don't think it's poor Epic. I think there's some truth somewhere, and I don't know if regulation needs to come in for that sort of like. This is one thing I advocate for as a developer. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care how much y'all be riding Valve. I think 30% is ridiculous. I think it's also ridiculous that you make it where your best sellers. So if you're a GTA, if you're a Rockstar, if you're a AAA studio and you're launching your game on Steam, they give you a bigger cut. But you couldn't do this for the indie studios. Like, why is that not reversed? Why is it not the indie studios and the smaller ones? They get more of a cut. And the bigger guys just pay the same 30. I'd be fine. Like, all right, if you're AAA, pay 30. They're the biggest thing on there. They can dictate the percentage. Do it. Why are the indie guys having to pay 30%? Why can't they just pay? Oh, just give us like 10. Give us 15 because you're smaller. You might not make or make it based off of sales,
because
right?
capitalism.
But Epic says this, right? Like your first million or two.
Why do the rich people? Why do they not pay as much taxes?
I know.
It's the same shit.
I know.
Oh shit! When you make $120,000 or more, you enter a new tax bracket where you pay less, bro. That shit is. I don't get it. I don't get it. But it is what it is.
I'll give another example before we end up closing this topic. But it's kind of like the situation with Twitch, right? Like Twitch can do the foulest stuff in the world. They can keep the weirdest people platform, but literally, like if you see an average person on the street and you like spark a conversation, you're like, hey, I stream. They're like, oh, what's your Twitch? It's a culture thing. It's literally a culture thing. And the PC culture, bro, they ride super hard balls for Valve, bro. This is just what they do. So yeah, it's totally a psychological. It is a condition thing. How many people have we had a conversation with? It's like, hey, I'm getting into PC gaming. What game should I get on Steam? They don't even say anything else. What should I get on Steam? I'm on Steam. They probably don't even know what GOG is. They don't know what Epic Games Launcher is. They don't know what EA like. They don't know about any of this stuff. It's just what us as a culture have been conditioned to understand and know and gravitate towards. For me, I don't care. I want to go wherever the games are. So yeah, if a game is exclusive on Epic Games, I'm going to go over there. I haven't had to go over there pretty often because again, Steam does dominate the market. But if I'm forced to, even though I don't want to feel like I'm forced, but in the general sense, if I'm forced to, I'm going to go over there. If I get a free game from Ubisoft, and of course they don't put it on Steam majority of the time, they just now started to, but back in the day, they were putting their stuff on their launcher. EA the same way. If we get these early games and stuff, they're going to be on their own individual launcher. So I'm going to play it on the launchers. Yes, all of them are not as great, but I'm not that type that I'm a slave to Steam and I have to play it on Steam. And if it's not on Steam, then I'm going to wait on it and for the potential that it might not even ever come to that platform. You're really going to take that risk on something that you really enjoy to play. Like I said, I don't get it, but the conditioning and the culture is crazy. That's all it is.
I don't even know how I feel about this class action lawsuit. I feel like it might just be trying to get lawyers rich. Class action lawsuits for something where like a medical thing has actually harmed people makes sense. But I feel like this one, I mean, there's even a petition that gamers are filling out because they want to opt out of winning money from this lawsuit because they're automatically opted in, by the way. They're like, we're representing these millions of gamers. And we're like, whoa. I don't have any interest in this. So you're going to end up getting like what, $60 max before lawyer fees. I think it can kind of ends up being a thing of in these ones where you say that you're advocating for a group of people where I think it's like 80% or something don't even want to be advocated for. Who's actually winning when it comes to this? Probably just the lawyers. It's probably just trying to get lawyers a big old payday.
I want to circle back to the whole culture thing because like it kind of proves my point what I was mentioning earlier. Well, you have to ask the question, where does the culture come from? And in my opinion, they have 80 to 90% of the market because I looked it up. Steam launched in 2003, and it was the only digital storefront for the last 20 plus. It's been alive for 23 years. I feel like they'd have a stronger case with the fanboyism stuff if like they had came out maybe 5 years after Steam and they've been competing, they've been around for 15 years, Steam, and they were doing like some great, like you guys, like the Epic Game Store is brand new. GOG, I feel like with GOG, and I could be wrong, I feel like they just don't advertise it enough, so like people don't know about that enough. But with the Epic Game Store, I feel like they shot themselves in the foot more than anything. You kind of cheapened yourself by becoming the platform to go only to get free games. The launcher is slower, so people don't like that, the way the games launch on there. And then also, I feel like a lot of us forgot, whether it's fair or not, I don't know if y'all remember when the Epic Game Store first came out, people were calling that shit Chinese spyware, so it kind of had like a negative stigma to it.
Man.
And like
no evidence of it, just it was
I don't think it ever shook that negative connotation, and that's because they didn't do enough to create their own culture, in my opinion. So like I feel like to some degree Steam is dominating because they put in the work, and they have it, like Etho said, it was kind of ass at first and it's gotten better over time. I don't know if this case will stick, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. Since last podcast, a new game has been announced. I'm not gonna lie, I think it was like last year there was a tweet that went viral that said Horizon Zero Dawn, the series, might be the first industry plant. And like I laughed, but I'm not gonna lie, like I'm starting to look at this game like do people really fuck with Horizon like that?
They do. They actually do.
We got like not one but two Horizon.
I don't know, but like it sold 24 million copies.
That's the bundles. I'm telling you what.
It might be. I mean, yeah, it could be. I think it's actually at 38 million or something.
We need to investigate, and that would be funny if it was PS5 bundles, but nobody actually played this shit.
It could be.
Epstein funding. I'm gonna call Epstein funding.
Actually, you know what? With the reaction to the game we're about to talk about, the Horizon fans, the amount of Horizon fans who are mad, I'm starting to think there are a lot of them.
Okay, so
did you see that comment section on that?
We let me let the chat know who missed it last week. We don't have one, but we have two multiplayer Horizon games coming. A new one was announced called Horizon Hunters Gathering, and it is a 3-person co-op PvE game where you hunt monsters with roguelike elements. So each round will change with different perks and abilities and stuff like that. It'll have its own story mode, different classes, a hub world, its own unique art style, and they did confirm in this video that this is canon to the main storyline, whatever story elements that they do implement in it. Now, I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say about this, because I wasn't really paying attention on the temperature. You were saying people were upset about this announcement?
Oh, so people are upset about it, saying that it's woke devs making fat chicks. So people are mad about that. But that's,
I
You
thought
know.
the black dude looked cool in there. I thought I liked
He looks
the
like
character
Afro
design.
Samurai.
He
Yeah,
does look like
he looks like
Afro
Cornel
Samurai,
West
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who it is.
Yeah, so there's that conversation. But then there's another conversation of Horizon fans who are obviously wanting a single player Horizon game like they've been before. And now they're hearing that it's going to be a really long time until Horizon 3 happens because they're focused on getting this game out and supporting it and all that stuff. But I mean, they did open up this video saying, like, just so we get this clear, we're still making single player experiences. We're still going to be making them. We're excited to make them. This does not mean that we're turning into a live service studio. So they are going to do it. They just want to do something different. And honestly, I have no problem with a dev studio being like, hey, we want to flex our creativity a little bit and try something different with a different art style and a different type of game. I don't have a problem with that. Maybe they didn't have to use the Horizon name, but maybe it's going to help them that they're using the Horizon name, and that's why they're talking about it and using it.
My first impressions of it is I genuinely really like the art style. I like.
I do too.
I thought it was cool. I like the character designs. Cool. It looked cool. This wasn't exactly what I was expecting for the studio. I was more so looking for that third game, especially after if you played Forbidden West with the whole conspiracy going on with the human society. I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. But I guess I'm kind of interested in it because they said it was canon, so maybe we'll get some more explanation on what's going on with the whole sci-fi space elements of the Horizon series. Not exactly something I wanted, but I do like the art style. For me, I think this game, my interest level is determined on the pricing. In my opinion, it looks like a free-to-play game. If it's free to play, I'm there day one. But I'm not gonna lie, if they're charging $70, we got to see what's coming out around the same time. What you think, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll charge that. At least I would hope not.
40 or free, I would say.
Yeah, usually
If it's
just
40, I'm
game,
still
yeah.
not getting it.
Hey, you said free or nothing.
I don't know, man. I'm not that interested in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I might be kind of checked out with Horizon. I don't know. I think it may be that point because I didn't even I remember when Forbidden West. I didn't even beat Forbidden West because Elden Ring was out. Yeah, Elden Ring came out, bro.
So I feel like the Horizon series, my issue with it is they are good games, but they're just like the quintessential Sony exclusive. It's not blowing me away. And I feel like when you fought that robot dinosaur in the first game, it just didn't hit the same in the second. That being said, what I will give about Forbidden West is, I don't know how far you got into the game, but there's a whole conspiracy going on about the human society and like space. Like, I don't want to spoil for people who haven't played it. I did think that the most interesting thing about the game is everything besides Aloy. So like, there's something interesting going on there with some sci-fi elements. I'm curious to see how it pays off. I would recommend finishing the game.
I'm interested in this game.
You are?
Because it's in my wheelhouse.
It's Monster Hunter.
Monster
Yeah.
Because the thing,
Yeah.
I saw it, I was like, oh, it's Monster Hunter. No, it's actually Night Rain. It's literally Night Rain.
They did say it was roguelike.
It's got roguelike elements. It's the same team size, 3 people. It has a ring that closes in as you're leveling up and trying to get as powerful. It's like actually Night Rain. I'm not saying that they copied Night Rain because that's way too freaking fast. It's just, people come up with these ideas at similar times. So I'm definitely interested because it's Monster Hunter-esque, it's Night Rain-esque. I think combat looked really cool and it looked like you could interact with each other in really interesting ways. They also kept saying that it was challenging. Like, they kept saying challenging over and over again. Like, you're gonna have to earn defeating these bosses, and so that has me really interested as well. And like you said, TBH, I think the art style is really dope. It kind of reminds me of like a Sony animated style. Because if people initially saw it and they're like, oh, it looks like Fortnite. It's like, if you look at it, it's got like these really dope, thick outlines around the characters that are like different colors that make it look like a comic book. So I would actually say it looks like a painterly art style. And I think that style is really cool. And I thought the animation work looked good too. And this is going to have a campaign where you can play single player with NPCs, or you can play fully co-op the campaign. They're going to be adding to it. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. Combat, I think, looked pretty dope.
I believe them when they say it's going to be challenging too, because if you look at the gameplay, the thing that I'm noticing is like they don't have as much tech as Aloy. If in the mainline games, it was mainly Aloy and Silence who had all that advanced tech. It looks like they have like a little bit, so I think that it's almost going to be like a Halo ODST type of thing, where it's like they have tech, but not to the level of Master Chief because it's mainly going to the main characters in the storyline. So I think that's why it'll probably be more challenging. That's a way they can like connect the games because there's not enough tech to go around. I didn't state earlier before I tossed it to the ethos. The main reason I'm not like super gung-ho as much as I like the art style, the thing that concerned me about the gameplay is I saw the same freaking monsters that I seen in the first 2 games. And that's why I said, there's a matter of fact, on the trailer, y'all see it in the video, the T-Rex is right there. That was cool in the first game. But can we get some different monsters? I don't want to fight the T-Rex and the alligator again. That's my main concern. Throw some different monsters in there because I'm seeing the same things from the mainline games. And it's just like, can we just finish the series if that's what you're going to do? What do you think, Ethos?
No, I agree. Same thing. I don't really know what to add to that. I want to play. I'll try it. Like, I'm not a person who's just like, oh, I'm just going to hate this thing. You know what's crazy? This reminds me a lot of Marathon. Because I think the reaction that they gave to this is the exact same thing they gave to Marathon, where they looked and they visually saw it and it was different. And because it was different, people are just like, what the hell is this? I'm not going to play this. So I do see some funny similarities within like how people's reactions to those 2 games. I mean, we'll see. I'll try it. Like I said, I'm not gonna knock it till I try it. I agree with Watts. Like it looks like a fun, cool thing that at least like time. Look, the animations look cool. The gameplay looks cool. And I'm a gameplay first person. I don't care. Your game could look like, you know, old school PS1 game. If the gameplay is fire, I'm still gonna play it. So.
Nah, bro, they said Concord returned. Like they
okay,
were
done.
They were cooking this in the comments, bro. Like, hey,
Concord, bro.
Everything is
they said, how many times do we have to teach y'all, Sony? We don't want this. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the general public feels about Horizon because they acting like they hated Horizon since the start. So I have no clue. Or maybe it's just the type of game that they came out with. Maybe if this was another single player Horizon game, it wouldn't have the same sentiment, but they are not liking this game in the comments.
I never heard nobody in real life say, yo, Horizon is my favorite game. That's why I'm leaning towards this shit. Like, Ethos might be right. Like, it might be the bundles. I just don't believe it, bruh. But we go see when it come out.
I might like this game though. I might. It's in my wheelhouse.
I think we'll try
Let
it.
me
Yeah,
in. I'll give you feedback. Let me in.
I think it needs to be free. Yeah, we'll play the beta or something.
Oh yeah, they're also doing a playtest. I forgot to mention that. They are planning on doing playtesting this and getting feedback and building the game because they said like this is still a ways out from coming out. And I think if you're doing like a live service game, especially when you haven't done that in your studio, I think that's probably a smart idea to do that.
Okay. So keep an eye on the Hunter Gathering Horizon game coming. Playtest on the way. Next story I got for you. If you're tired of AI, oh well, we got more for you. Sony has filed a patent for generative AI podcasts starring their gaming characters. According to the patent listing they have patented Sony's large language model, LLM, based generative podcast for gamers. It'll put forth some ambitious ideas, even though it doesn't even settle every issue that may arise from them. According to the listing, Sony sees these podcasts as a way to reach individual gamers with that are tailored to their news and their gaming taste. Basically, what these generative AI things will do is basically, let's say there's a new God of War coming out, right? The third one in the series, right? Let's say he's going to Egypt or something like that. With this new technology that they have, they'll be able to generate a podcast and throw it on Twitter of Kratos and Atreus sitting down and sharing news instead of doing like a Sony State of the Play. And they could do this with every character. And they think this will be a better way to get people excited about their games. And they can do this not just about news, but just talking about anything really with their characters. Ethos, what is this doing for you?
Nothing. I don't want that shit.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Watts, is this doing anything for you?
Are they gonna make me listen to their AI podcast for like canon story of their characters? Because I don't want to do that. I don't want to. It's weird. Why would I? I don't want this. Does anyone want this? I think grandmas might want this, right? Like they don't know. Oh, God, I can't believe it. It's my favorite characters. No, I do not want to listen to 2 computers like speak to each other about stuff. No, thank you.
We're running. There's a RAM shortage, right? Be like, yeah, it's because of you.
Yeah.
What's your take on it, Atreus? We don't fucking care, dude. Well, what about this news story right here? Baldur's Gate 3 live adaptation has been green lit. As per Variety, HBO is developing the Baldur's Gate 3 TV adaptation, hot off the success of its live action Last of Us series, with Mazin serving as both the showrunner and executive producer on the new project. The only problem is So the good news is the showrunner has over 1,000 hours on BG3. The bad news is that Larian has nothing to do with the TV show. How are we feeling about this, Jay?
Oh man, yeah. I'm not even a Baldur's Gate fan, but I can only imagine how people would not be excited about hearing that news. Because why would Larian not be a part of it? Like I feel like that's a requirement. I get that we are in the age of video game adaptations actually doing good. CC Fallout Season 2, which was peak, by the way. And I don't even like Fallout, and I love that. But I think that maybe we need to slow down a little bit and make sure that we are doing this properly. Because for Baldur's Gate fans, like, this is their baby. And they don't want to see this be destroyed. Because just imagine, you get peak from Fallout, you get somewhat peak, minus the season 2 of The Last of Us, and then you get Baldur's Gate 3, and Larian had nothing to do with it. It ends up becoming crap. It gets crapped on. Rotten Tomatoes just decimates it. The critics, the regular fan decimated. Like, nobody wants to see that. So I feel like, again, that needs to be a requirement. Why are they not involved in it? Why did you just decide that you wanted to just do an adaptation of Baldur's Gate 3 and HBO? What are you doing here? I get it. You're on the run. You and Amazon are doing your thing, but you need to go through the proper protocols to make sure that this is a quality product. You're not going hit lightning in the bottle twice. So you got to make sure you do it right.
Yeah, I feel like with a show like The Last of Us, it's pretty straightforward. Like, they literally just took the cutscenes and hired some actors and reenacted it. And that's why nobody liked season 2. But that's not the point. For Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like it's a little bit different. Because I feel like the biggest part of the magic for Baldur's Gate was the level of choice. Granted, because I feel like some people in the comment, well, Fallout has choice and the show works. Not to the level of Baldur's Gate, bro. Like, I feel like people played it more for the choice versus just straight lining whatever happened in the mainline story. So I'm curious to see will they be able to stick the landing. And I feel like the best case scenario for them to stick the landing and figure out what's the proper way to tell this story is bring in the people who made the game. Because I don't know if the guy playing it a lot will be enough. What you think, Watts?
Yeah, I think that if you're not having the creators of the game involved, then just don't bother. Like, I when I saw this on my timeline and they were like, huh? They're doing what? Because we're not involved at all. I just don't like that. I think that is a really bad way to get things started. And like you said, TBH, I think obviously like you could tell a good story in this universe, absolutely. But the reason why Baldur's Gate is as popular as it is because it has like endless options for you to explore. So yeah, I'm not interested personally. No, thank you. Could be good, but I never like it when they don't involve the creators.
Any thoughts, Ethos?
Oh, I saw Larian devs literally like, what the fuck on Twitter when they saw this announcement. So I was like, nope, that's all I had to see. So,
imagine seeing this announcement on social media. You're just like, what?
Wait, what?
Friggin', it is what it is. Well, let me hear y'all take on this story. So apparently Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to get a co-op mode post-launch, which thank God it didn't, because it sounded like it was going to be Ghost of Tsushima's co-op, and it would have got even more comparisons to the Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, brother.
Apparently some anonymous Ubisoft workers said that they were working on a post-launch co-op mode for Assassin's Creed Shadows, but the higher-ups felt like they weren't able to hit the deadline for the release date on the base game. So ultimately, they canned it as an expansion for later to be released, and then they decided to spin it off and make it its own separate game that was codenamed Leaked, which then they developed and canceled. So it got canceled twice. How we feeling about this, Jay? You're shaking your head, bro.
Man, we gonna talk about it again, dude, but I feel for y'all at Ubisoft, bro. I really do, because I don't know whose idea was this, but I mean, personally, I wouldn't have wanted to see this co-op. I just wanted to see the game come out personally. I didn't feel like it needed a co-op, but for it to just get canceled again, amongst the other things Ubisoft has most recently canceled, this is not surprising to me, but by any stretch of the imagination. So it's part of the course for the trajectory that they're going right now. I'll talk a little bit more about this in the next segment.
Yeah, I didn't understand, because I'm like, you guys are You guys are broke. You're burning through cash. So why'd you greenlight another project and then just cancel it again? Any insight on that? What?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Ubisoft. This is why the Expedition 33 devs left and made their own thing, because they knew that if they would pitch it to you to go, nope, not happening. Just feels like the devs aren't allowed to do anything except be like a Assassin's Creed birthing unit. They can't like step outside of that thing at all. They have to just be in that. It's a real big shame.
It's literally the Kylo Ren meme. They say open world more.
Yeah.
And things have gotten so bad that the union that represents Ubisoft employees are now calling for the resignation of Yves Guillemot, who is the CEO of Ubisoft since its inception. Ethos, do you think he should step down finally after? Because it's been 3 weeks in a row.
Oh
Negative news.
God. Why is he still there, bro? He should have been left. It's time to go, big dog. Time to go upstate. It's over, man.
I feel like Tencent's about to get a fire sale. They about to get more free assets, bro, for the low.
Yeah, they about to super eat.
You was talking about it. What did you want to say on this? Because you said the next segment. Were you talking about this, Jay?
Yeah, man, we about to smoke on the E's pack, bro. We about to smoke on that pack. I what did I say? Some of the previous podcast said he needs to go, bro. So just to see this news, it was like it warmed my heart, bro. I said, please force this man out of here by any means. They are pissed at him, bro. It's been like again, we've been talking about Ubisoft news for like the last year, but this week in particular has been really cooking. Like they had a town hall, like the employees were pissed. They said they got nothing out of that. They want him out of here. Now, of course, they were anonymous, speaking to Insider Gaming here, but I agree with what they said. They said, look, you did some nepotism here. You made your son the co-CEO of Vantage Studios. Y'all been canceling all these games. Y'all trying to do the return to office and, essentially trying to force people to quit so that y'all don't have to really make it a hard thing for this whole second phase of layoffs that y'all are doing. It's bad, bro. And again, who needs to be accountable for being a bad leader, for being a bad CEO? Why do the executives never get their head on the stake? So I want this to happen. If you have the people who actually are working for y'all saying, hey, he needs to go, then I already knew it was some merit to it, but like, bro, it's like they're slaves there. Like I was saying, you mentioned it already, but what if for once y'all allowed the people that made your games on the front lines to actually make the game that they want to make? Imagine if Ubisoft still had Expedition 33 under their belt, boy. Oh my God, it would have been ridiculous. Everybody would be like, Ubisoft is back, bro. They're back. But then you just get Assassin's Creed, which again sold fairly well, but that's not enough for y'all bottom line. That's not enough. And then you have all this other stuff going on. Also, keep in mind, they mentioned that the SA stuff in 2020 during the whole Me Too movement, they said the culture is still bad and you did nothing to make that any better. Again, as a CEO, as a leader, it's your job to make things better and to make people feel safe. If you bring back stuff like the return to office movement, imagine again the people who you hired outside of the country, outside of the town, outside of the state. Imagine those people who are basically going to be forced to quit. They're not going to relocate. Imagine the culture coming back, the toxic culture coming back when you bring everybody back in the office. Maybe some people felt safe working remotely, and now they have to come back. Nobody thinks about this stuff. Get this man out of here, bro.
He's got to go.
Pack it up.
He's got to go.
And to add salt to the wound, I'm glad you brought up Expedition 33 because you reminded me of something I forgot to put in the notes, but you'll be able to see it in the podcast. I don't know if y'all saw this. The same week the Ubisoft union was calling for the head of Yves Guillemot, the entire Sandfall Interactive, the developers behind Expedition 33, were knighted by the French government. That's right.
They were.
Hit them with the sword. That shit had me dying,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
I was like, you know what? I like the game, but I'm like, yo, the glazing is crazy for Expedition 33.
I mean, people
knighted.
were saying people are now like, the French are okay, I guess.
And
that's because of the game. So maybe they deserve it. But it was knighted for for culture and arts or something. It wasn't like were just knighting you as of the round table. It was something to do with like the arts or something.
It's the same thing like Wukong got with China a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it is within it is within like a certain wheelhouse. Right? It's not just we're gonna give you the knighthood going. But it's cool, it's cool. It's cool.
I was like, the timing of that is immaculate. I love it. We got to follow up to last week. We covered there were some gaming personalities or entities found in those Epstein files, which includes, Epstein basically being there during the invention of microtransactions, as him getting kicked off Xbox Live. But who was also there was Rockstar's former CEO and current CEO of the Mind's Eye studio, the ones who made that game. I think it's like Rocket Boy or something like that. He was accused of SA. So we have a follow-up to that. Mind's Eye studio boss, former Rockstar CEO, threatens legal action against YouTuber and denies the Epstein allegations. He says, "I've never met Jeffrey Epstein, nor have I ever visited that island." So he released this whole statement. But I thought the most interesting thing about it was the fact that he's threatening to sue the YouTuber who broke it. Because there's 3 million files that released online, so people are still combing through it over the past couple weeks. I guess it was a big YouTuber who broke the story. And instead of suing the United States government, the DOJ who released these files, for some reason he's going after the YouTuber. Any thoughts on that, Watts?
Yeah. So I was the YouTubers just reading what's in the files.
Yeah.
It's like sure you can come up with some conclusions from that, right? Like maybe it doesn't say in the files exactly what you did, and maybe the YouTuber is saying that, oh, this means that he did this. So, but they're just reading what's in the files. So you can't get mad at someone for just reading something. And I think this just makes me not like this person anymore. I'm getting a picture about this guy that I don't like. He seems to have a huge ego, be a typical CEO who thinks he's better than everyone and can do whatever he wants. And I threatening to sue a YouTuber over them reading the files that you're in because you had some kind of interaction with this man is crazy.
Vibes are bad.
Vibes are bad.
Mm-hmm.
He does not.
I take it nobody's playing the new update for Mind's Eye they dropped this week? Nobody's playing it?
I did not.
No.
Sucky human beings, sucky video games. The YouTuber, you'll be fine. He has no fucking case. Just running.
Bro, they said... This is apparently nobody has met Epstein. Nobody has spoken to him. Apparently, he's just been having parties with himself. He's been talking to himself on these emails. Nobody like what are we doing here, bro? We are so unserious as an entire world. We're not even just talking about Americans. We are so unserious, bro.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, and don't take this as a defense for him because it's fuck Diddy too. But you notice how everybody was at the Diddy party. Everybody is guilty, but when it comes to the white dude, all of a sudden nobody was on the island.
Nobody get protected. I ain't never party with Diddy. I ain't never party with Diddy.
Super Diddy over here is innocent.
I ain't never party with Diddy.
I think if you're in the email asking when can I come to the wildest party, that
you're cooked, and you'll bring friends.
Yeah,
Elon. Hey, my guy, let me get an invite to the island.
He's so lame that even these guys don't want him at their party.
Like, get him away. I don't want to deal with it.
You're ruining the PDF vibes, buddy.
I can drive my Tesla to the island. Like, what
bro, on top of that, you didn't add this, but another bit of news about him. Did you see the thing about Mind's Eye? Said that people were sabotaging it.
Oh yeah, he said he found. Let me bring that up. He said he found the people who were running the smear campaign or something like that.
Oh my god!
Again, the CEO's not taking accountability, bro. The co-founder not taking accountability.
They all just come across as weenie babies. They're just like, I know what's good. You know what? Don't know what's good. This is good. You're dumb. I just piss me off.
I feel like the energy people have for High Guard. Where's the energy for him? Like that's
yes.
Like, please get on him. Shut up, dude. Your game is just bad. Like, what are we talking about, man?
Yeah, just take the L, bro. Like nobody even talking about it even more. Just take the L.
You spinning right now. You spinning.
Other news I got for you: AMD CEO announced that they are still on track. If basically what they said is their chips are ready. And the original rumor was the next gen Xbox, which is supposed to be some type of PC hybrid, kind of like the Steam machine. They wanted to release in 2027, and the CEO of AMD came out this week and said, we're ready, the chips are ready. So if Xbox wants to do it, ultimately it's up to them. Do we believe this will actually come out in 2027, Ethos?
What was the date? Say it again.
2027.
For
Next
for the
gen
new
Xbox.
The next gen Xbox.
Sorry, I was checking my date on my calendar. Ain't no fucking way. I had to double check the calendar, Rook. Ain't no fucking way that's coming out next year. No.
Yeah, I don't believe it's coming out
I don't
with the
think
RAM
so.
short and the GPU. I think it would be good for Xbox to come out before PlayStation, especially if well, never mind, they don't got no exclusives, so it don't matter.
No, it's gonna be like $1,200. It's for the elite. Remember, they're like, we're making it a premium product that only the elite gamers can buy.
In this economy, probably not, bro.
Other tech news, we as a society are actively stalling when it comes to progression. NVIDIA announced that they will not be revealing any new GPUs this year. So if you were hoping for the 5080 Super or TI, whatever they were going to call it, or if there was going to be the 60 series, it's not coming because they just don't have the parts to manufacture. So, you don't have
They
to
need
worry
them
about it.
data centers, man. We're here
AI.
for the data centers, not for you. That's what they're all saying.
Which is unfortunate. And then last but not least, this is good news for the PS4 port beggars. They have announced that when GTA 6 Rockstar Take-Two, they reaffirm players that are still in love GTA 5. When GTA 6 comes out, support for GTA 5 online will not stop. Of course it won't, because it prints money. They will continue to support it in the long term, so you could play either game, just in case you maybe don't enjoy GTA 6 or you just can't afford to play on the current gen consoles, because that's what it is. It is a current gen. Do any of us care that the GTA 5 is not dying? Are we surprised?
I mean, I am happy that they're keeping it around. I think that is a good thing. People have a lot of investment into the online of GTA 5, so I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I don't really care about GTA in general.
Yeah,
personally.
I think this tells me, because I remember like one of the biggest burning questions was when GTA 6 finally comes out, is it going to have online? And it sounds like they're kind of pulling in Activision with the whole Warzone thing, because like they're like Warzone is its own thing, and outside of like the maps and stuff, it wasn't really a new Warzone. It's just Warzone. So like they're just continuing upon it. It's its own live service. So it sounds like that's what they're trying to do. So that's kind of like telling me that they're not going to like revamp GTA 6, or at least not have it at launch, which was the main question. Are they going to have online at launch? So if they're going to still continue to have GTA 5 online at launch, they're probably just going to, whenever they're ready, they're going to have like the next gen version of GTA, or a GTA Online, which is going to be the GTA 6 version, and then have it be in that universe. But that's what I'm getting. I might be wrong, but I want to temper people's expectations who are strictly waiting on the online portion of GTA 6 whenever it drops, because it sounded like that's not what they're going to do, and it's definitely not going to be at launch. So we might be waiting longer for that. So if you want GTA Online, you still got to play GTA 5.
Okay. And that's what we got for you in the main news section. So it's time for the lightning round. For anybody who wants to comment on this stuff really quickly, let me know. Actually, keeping it in the realm of PlayStation, Sony announced, this is also more good news for the PS4 port beggars. Sony announced they are taking you guys into consideration for the people struggling to get onto the PS5. They know you're worried about the rising prices of computers because of the RAM and the GPU shortages. So they announced they have bought a year's worth of RAM in advance. So they said the price of the PS5 should be stable. But by this time next year, they said, we don't know. If the AI bubble bursts, or they just stop building all these mega data centers, but a year from now they don't know. So no, for the next year it's okay, but it might get a little bit bad depending on if they keep, the billionaires just keep getting more powerful. Any thoughts on this, Ethos?
I mean, what am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to cater to the PS4 owners' feelings. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, I will not.
Okay.
I don't think I will.
Next up. Last week or the show before, I don't know, I can't keep up. There was a rumor circulating that GTA 6 could potentially not launch with disc versions. Take-Two Interactive, they recently had their earnings call, and they revealed that there will be disc versions at launch, so the rumor is not true. There will be physical and digital, and they are confident that the game will launch November 19th, as well as the reason you haven't seen any gameplay is they said they don't spend any money on advertising until around the time the game's going to launch. So basically, don't expect any gameplay until probably at the earliest this summer.
Okay.
So
Well, there you go. All right.
I'm glad there's a disc. Physical media. W.
Physical media. Switch is the best-selling Nintendo console of all time. Are we surprised?
Dang. Well, 12 years later after the deal, that's
155 million units, 50
Damn,
million units away from like the PS2, I believe. Or no, because PS2 160. So 5. It could actually pass the PS2. Never mind. If people keep buying this stuff.
Dang,
Yeah, I think there's more gamers now than there ever has been. I think it's good. It's a good like family console. It's a good personal console. So yeah, I can understand why it's sold so much.
Drop the price and you guys will be able to beat the PS2. There's no reason why you guys should be charging so much still with the Switch 2 out. Especially because the Switch 2 price might be going up according to experts. And you know why? AI RAM. They're saying it could go up $50 to $100 pretty soon. So you've been warned. If you're interested in the Switch 2, you better get on it because analysts are expecting the price to go up, unfortunately.
Dang, I might need to try to cop then, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Starfield on the PS5. April 2026. That's what the rumor states. They're saying that it's going to be announced soon and it's going to launch on April 7th. Let's pretend like it is for a moment here. Ethos, do you believe that the PlayStation community will resonate with Starfield better than the Xbox and PC community?
Maybe. They liked a lot of their other games. They like Sea of Thieves more than apparently Xbox. So I don't know.
Shown that they have. So.
Yeah, they tend to buy.
Well, no, because Gears of War did not do good on PlayStation.
That's one. That was bad though. It was bad.
It was bad.
I think maybe was more like multiplayer people who would be interested in the franchise of Gears. I think Sony players are looking for like a single player epic adventure. So maybe they'll dig Starfield.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. People think Daredevil's coming to Wolverine later this year because they posted a lawyer joke on Twitter. Specifically, they posted an image with some with the caption clause. What's that? Some kind of fancy lawyer lingo? Do we think Matt Murdock is appearing in Wolverine?
Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we need
cool
some. I think it's more than possible because I mean they were like appearances in Spider-Man, and I mean it's the same company making the game, so I mean it's more than possible we can see other Marvel characters. I hope so. That'd be dope. Bunch of high guard stuff. They introduced Ranked with episode 2, a new warden. It's a black dude. The character design is actually fire. He can
the character design is really good.
I do like that. And I know
I'm trying to get on
Black History Month. Black History Month.
Yeah, they did that shit on purpose. Shout out to them.
They did.
His gameplay looks fun too.
Yeah, he transforms into a wolf. What do you think?
Yeah, what you think? Yeah.
I hopped out. I was playing Fives last. He's fire. He turns into a direwolf when instead of moving. So instead of you like hopping on a mount, he just literally is the mount himself. And which I think he helped fix. He helps fit an area that's needed. Is sometimes like we're trying to like chase down a team, and they're just getting on their mounts and they're trying to outrun you. He will always close the gap. No matter what. I am a little concerned just from like 5v5s. It kind of comes down to the balancing idea with 5s. I am terrified of him and Condor both on the same team because like it's just you're
double
just
the info.
Every second you just get you're revealed. You're like I have red outline like every time I just move. That's a little annoying. But he's not really he's not really like a character where it's just like, I'm ability, oriented. It's definitely like you have to be good at, because the only way you're going to kill with him is you have to be good at shooting, but he's very good at like closing the gap on people, helping team fight. So like if your friend needs help, you can reach him faster and you can hunt down a lot of people who are like trying to hide away or, so I would argue he's very good at when you're in the bases, he's very good at like, UAVing people. And
if you play League of Legends, he's Warwick.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. He's just missing all. I just wish his ult was like Warwick's, like where you can actually suppress somebody from like, because his ult's just really just like I scream and I see everybody, and that's like
it's Warwick's. What is that? His W? E?
Yeah. But yeah, when somebody gets hurt, you can just chase him.
You can see him, and then he has the Warwick thing where I'm saying it's Warwick from League of Legends. It's Warwick.
The reason I wanted to cover it mainly is I plan on trying it, but they also introduced Ranked, and the cool thing they introduced in here, I don't know if Highguard survives the year or longer. I hope they do. I'm rooting for him. But just in case it doesn't, I don't know if this is the first game it's the first game I've seen. At least I could be ignorant. I need some games to steal this from it. What also got lost in the patch notes was they announced for Ranked that if you solo queue when you solo queue, you get an XP boost for playing alone, but you take less, they subtract less XP if you solo queue. I would like to see more multiplayer games do that. They kind of do it with Marvel ranks. You get like a Marvel Rivals, you get a shield whenever you rank up, but that shield runs out. I like the idea of making the XP different for people who solo queue, because it is a completely different experience. And I'm surprised I haven't seen another studio implement that. So I need some studios to steal that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm down to hop on High Guard again.
Oh yeah, I'm on it this week because I want to try the new dude out.
Hit me up.
This update came out at the wrong time.
Nioh 3
came out.
Why did you hit me up?
I did. I literally invited you last night, but you didn't say anything. It was hold on. Check your Steam. Check your Steam.
You don't message me on Steam. I don't get any
notifications. Who messages on Steam?
So it's just
message me on Discord.
It's just a ping. It's just a ping. Look,
you guys put out the update the same day as Nioh 3. That was a terrible day.
Yeah, it was a terrible day. Listen, these audience may not be the same, but they are for me. So
granted, it was at 2 o'clock in the morning.
The freaking Nioh still right now has a higher player count,
Discord,
man.
All right, I'll ping you next time on Discord. If I play tonight, I'll ping.
Also, they made 5v5 a permanent mode just in case anybody missed it. So it's no longer bad news if you're a fan of the Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds 2 underperformed according to sales expectations, and there will not be a third game according to Obsidian. Any thoughts on why it didn't sell too well, Watts?
I don't know. I had the thought of checking out the Outer Worlds. Like I liked it enough in the first one, but I wasn't like head over heels in love with it. And then some of the early trailers looked pretty interesting. I don't know if it released at a bad time for me, but it wasn't pulling ahead of the competition at the time is the main reason that I didn't jump into it personally. I don't know. I'm not really sure why people didn't bite for it. How well did the first one do? Did the first one do?
Hey, what the fuck?
But I think it scored better than the second one scored better than the first one.
Hey,
it was unanimous. It was better.
Y'all, do y'all have this article open? Am I bugging? If you scroll down, is the top comment a video of me? That shit just threw me off. That's why I said, what the fuck is this? Somebody, it always weirds me out when I see somebody use me as a fucking meme. I didn't post that.
Oh yeah, you're like a meme on the GIF stuff. Like I think I've seen your face.
Somebody what the hell? I think this game didn't sell well. I think it's, first of all, I love the first game. So, and everybody said the second game is good. I think it just came out at a bad time. It was just too many games.
I think it came out at a bad time.
This guy's funny. Hey man, they using I see me on it. Bro, they use you as gift, bro. You're famous. Come on now.
This is the first time, and this is actually a great example of my argument that gaming is in a greater place than ever. There are issues with the microtransactions and the greed, but from a creative standpoint, there's something for everybody, to the point where we are now seeing games fail simply because there's more competition than ever. Your games used to just fail because they were bad, but like I think this game just failed because it came out at the wrong time, unfortunately, because it's a good game. What else we got? Oh, Netflix on the PS3, it's going offline. Does anybody care?
Oh my god.
No, there's definitely someone out there who still has their PS3 like in their bedroom or something.
strictly
literally
as a Blu-ray or
machine.
yeah.
I mean, that was true because I remember, I forgot remember when Blu-ray players were expensive?
Yeah.
It was like if you had it was cheaper to buy a PS3 as a Blu-ray player. Like it was the same quality and it was cheaper. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true anymore, but yeah.
I had a clip go viral talking about that, and people swore I made that up. I'm like, yeah, y'all was like little kids, y'all don't remember. Like that was part of the reason we was buying them consoles. And then last but not least, 8K. It might be dead before it ever takes off, because according to this article, various associations which were originally advocating for 8K monitors, they are no longer advocating for it because sales and interests are just kind of low. Any insight on why we think maybe 8K didn't take off as fast as maybe 4K?
We can't even play games in 4K with good frame rate, good performance. Like, come on, there's no way.
It's still not a standard yet. And 8K, I mean, people thought that for a while 4K was a gimmick, and then we started seeing like, okay, was this possible? But when 8K, like, I feel like it came way too quickly that they were trying, like at CES, we were like, what the hell is this? They were like, we're not there yet. So like we could tell instantly that it was a fraud. It's a sham. So I think that we just understood as techie that it ain't really 8K.
Between the PS4 port beggars, the Xbox Series S, and the Nintendo Switch 2, we are nowhere near 8K. it ain't coming anytime soon.
They said they were 4K. They were 4K units fused together to make 8K. So they would just count it.
This is
4 times 2.
Just making shit up, bruh. That's all I got on the show notes. Do y'all have anything else you want to add to the show before we wrap this one up?
No, sir.
I don't think so.
Okay, then. All right. Well, ladies first, you got the floor. Watts, what is your closing statement for Gaming Illuminati episode 176? Go.
I think demo is the word of this episode. You got some really great demos out there. Check them out. Lots of studios are giving you a lot of game for free. Take advantage of it and try out something that, you might end up really loving. Get in those demos.
Ethos, closing statement, episode 176. Go.
I love being black. It's great.
In every
Shouts
lifetime.
to all my black people. Every time, if I had to pick reincarnated, I'd be black every single time.
Okay. And
I'm not gonna fish for that. I'm not gonna fish for that.
Okay. And our fellow Puerto Rican, JG, what
This
is your
guy
closing
he said
statement?
Puerto Rican. Why I got on the shirt that said black and legendary, man.
No,
yo,
we got two
no,
Puerto
not
Ricans.
tonight. Not tonight, homeboy. Nah,
Yo, viewers, let me give y'all some insight. You know who gets the most clicks when I test
Here we
different
go.
thumbnails? I call it the two Puerto Rican theory. It's when Watts and JG are on the thumbnail. Y'all click it the most for some reason. I don't know. I'm not
Let us
complaining.
know
Look at you,
why.
Watts.
Why?
Yeah, I
What's
would
in your
love if
mind
any-
when you see- when
Because
you
Bad
see-
Bunny at the Super Bowl. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
This guy,
I
bro.
think people are looking up Bad Bunny, and the algorithm is recommending them.
There's no freaking way. If it is, right, actually, because that would be high clicks. But yeah, that's interesting. If anybody in the comments, because I still don't know anybody who's says consciously why I would click on something, or people can't articulate it, but I would love to see why y'all liked me and Watts together. Because we both, I don't know, because you light skin too. Even though you say you were dark like Denzel, lying ass, but. But this man, he be denying that he light skin. I don't know. Do y'all like the lighter complexion? I don't know. We want to try Ethos. And Ethos, get your stuff ready so he can put you on the thumbnail.
Yeah, Ethos ain't been on the thumbnail because he ain't submitted no faces. That's all him.
I'm dying, bro. I'm dying.
Matter of fact, that's gonna be my closing statement. If you made it to this part of this episode, comment on the YouTube version of youtube.com/GI updates. Ethos, submit your thumbnail faces.
No. Put
Yes.
in the comments below why y'all keep picking Watts and JG. That's what I want to know.
Well, you might be more popular, Ethan.
I know.
We don't know. We can't taste the data because we can't get
Hey,
it.
you know what you do? Every time you put me in a thumbnail, you need to put behind me or some way game dev, or on my shirt or something. Gotta constantly
That's
do
a
that.
game dev.
Well, how about you
That's game
go buy a shirt that says Game Dev on it, and then you can
Mm.
We're going to make
or
one.
pictures
We're going
with
to make one. Yeah, we're going to
GI
make one.
merch.
Yeah, there you go.
So that I'll wear it. Yeah.
I'm a game dev. All right. Well, yeah. Leave that comment. Ethos,
Are
submit
you
your
a game dev?
thumbnail faces. We appreciate you guys for once again listening to the world's best gaming weekly podcast, Gaming Illuminati. I'm tired. That's why I'm stumbling. Make sure
I
you
got
hit the
it for
like
you.
button. Go ahead.
I got it for you. Whatever top comment gives me an emotion, an emote that I have to make for a thumbnail. Whatever's the top commented one, I will do it.
Look at
I'm gonna
this guy,
regret
bro.
this. I'm gonna totally regret this.
I like that. I like that.
Whatever the top commented, I'm gonna totally regret this.
Somebody gonna say, Ethos, put a spoon on your nose for the thumbnail.
Yeah,
They're gonna say something more wild than that.
No, it's gonna be more wild than that. I guarantee. I
So
fully
submit
expect
your
you to.
ideas for his thumbnail face.
Yeah.
Hit the
Yeah,
like
man.
button. Rate the show 5 stars. And we'll see you next week on the world's best gaming podcast, Gaming Illuminati. Peace.